And I would like uh, just go down the list and have you present your player characters to the group and me in some ways I don't know them yet. And start with Wiglov.
Wiglov. He's a cleric of death. He was a refugee from his fort up in the mountains. Not his fort, the fort of the dwarves up in the mountains by these weird insect beastie things. He never met any of them, but his parents did. That's how they were refugeed into the human lands. And he made his way to the city and joined up with the military after he became of age. What was that?
Somebody echoed.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Sorry, I think I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, he came up in the city, joined the military a bit, scouted out a few of the units, maybe. Did a bit of watchtower lookout stuff for the city, and he's been living there for roughly 55 years, give or take a few months, maybe. And yeah, he's a sort of something, I guess, like his description of what he looks like. He has auburn hair. He has a bit of a beard, not much. He's still a bit younger as a dwarf, but he's forming one. Uh, he has a bit of a belly, kind of a big guy. Uh, but yeah, he's just kind of like waiting in the city, awaiting orders for like the job that he's supposed to be doing. He's got bronze eyes, like bronze colored eyes. So yeah, should be fine.
Okay. Also, I heard you are working at the temple as some sort of a healer person right now.
Yes, sort of. Well, yes, yeah. He went from like being on the like from military service to working under the still probably under the military, but more at the temple, like for like healing and also prayer stuff. Kind of like someone that helps his soldiers, like whether they're in their units or like different medical barracks. Like he kind of watches over them in their passages to the other life.
Awesome. Next one would be Rufen.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael, and I'll be playing Reuven Vinra. He's an elf. He comes from the Elven lands across the waters. He has rather recently, in the rather last few years, come through the attention of the public as one of the few rare elves living in the human lands, and he is most notably known for as the uh, killer of goblins. He just, for some unknown reason, just walks around the land, traveling and slaughters goblins. He has multiple small town legends about him, but he is somewhat well known of the few elves that live as the goblin goblin killer. Uh, Beside that, uh, for appearances, he has longish, whitish, silvery, long hair, as elves do. Has the normal grace and beauty of elves, but is usually covered up with weirdly, for elves, weirdly shoddy or dirty clothing. Uh, Seems to mostly travel about the lands, the roads, and the forests, not really going into cities, very rarely, if any. And yeah, is a tallish elf, male elf, with, as I said, silvery hair, green eyes. Usually, probably wears some sort of mask. Also, not very well made, shoddily. But yeah, walks around, kind of dirty. as a ranger. As a class, he is a ranger, and currently, I believe he's traveling or has already made it to the capital or somewhere, someone, and is deciding to, for his own goals, fight off this scourge of beasts that come from the north.
Alright, and then the last one for now would be Toph's character, whose name I do not know.
Toph's character's name is Usmar. He
Can you change the name on your character sheet on Roll20?
Oh sure. Let's see. I don't see it. Is it Yastir Oliba?
Yeah.
Is this my character sheet?
Yeah.
Here we go. Wait, we're not supposed to be using this sheet for anything else other than tokens, right?
Tokens, and if you want to have attributes and macros linked to your character, then you can use them from there.
But I'll probably just use the PDF and that works, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I change the name. I'll get an image going on soon. Alright, so Osmar is he was born to some parents. He's not exactly sure. He was picked up by a merchant wizard from a temple, which he was left to in a cradle at some point. He grew up under this guy's apprenticeship, which provided him with many privileges that he got to make use of, studying under an expert wizard at a very young age. The town wizard who he was apprenticing for had a habit of helping the townsfolk just to make sure that they have like a good relationship and no one gets too spooked by the fact of them being wizards. And it was pretty successful. Like everyone seemed to be cool with them. Osmar kind of gained this reputation of being a handyman because he'd always go out and help other shops to clean and help move books from one place to another and help just with all kinds of physically demanding tasks. Yeah, he's just working in Tarega as an apprentice, and he's not really out right now anywhere, but his apprenticeship is coming to an end, and he might be looking outward for adventure. In terms of the way he looks, he's not tall, he's not too short, he's like maybe 5'8". He has medium length brown hair. He has kind of like dark blue eyes. What would you call it? Like a Middle Eastern skin tone. He wears these brown robes, brown wizarding robes. Yeah, I guess class-wise he's a transmuter wizard.
Okay. So these are our three player characters that are here for today. Our last player is a Gnome Wizard who hails from Camp Widowitz, which is the mining area of the world, and he is also a transmuter. Is this true?
Oh,
No.
really?
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's a dimensionalist. Sorry, yeah. So, okay. He's a dimensionalist, and maybe he will be joining us sometime soon or not. We will find out. Okay, so I will drag us to the world map. so we can look at what's going on in this world. So Terega, that's the place where Usma is coming from. Camp Widowitz is technically the place where Wiglov was coming from at some point, but he's been over in the capital city in Berrios and also sometimes stationed at the gate. The dwarven mine something is somewhere around this place, probably is the entrance. Players don't really know, since none of them has ever been there. It's only the stories of the old dwarves that talk about where they came from, and maybe some of them who are first generation refugees know where the place is, but Wiglov does not. Okay.
Yeah.
Our ranger friend is most likely known for murdering goblins, so he is at the most times hanging out around these forests where there's a lot of goblins to be found, and was originally meeting people somewhere around the coast. This was where he came into existence for this world, basically. Okay. The first interesting thing that is happening in this world is that up till recently there have no divine powers existed, at least outside of stories. There are old stories about priests and paladins being around 1,000 years ago, but since then nobody has ever heard about any of them. Up till recently, where there was a paladin appearing on the island of Hatana. Out of the blue, nobody really expected this, and this has, in the Royal Council of Asturias, which is the kingdom we are in right now, stirred up a lot of wind. One of our players, Wiglov, as he has said, is a priest of death, technically cleric of death. We will be using this a bit interchangeably. The class is usually called priest, but as players tend to do and as D&D tends to go, things get mixed up a lot of times. The first thing that we will be looking at is what actually happens when one becomes a priest. And for this reason, Wiglov, you are working in Berrios, in the capital city, in one of the temples. There is this belief in the gods in this world that are prayed to. There are the three main gods: the god of creation, the god of destruction, and the goddess of upkeep, by the name of Leonam, Katzgatar, and Ale. And there also are two concepts that are being revered. Revered is the right word, I think so. The concept of time, also known as Zo, and the concept of spirit, also known as Kres. Spirit being the one who brings consciousness to the world, and time being known as the one thing that keeps causality intact and brings order to temporal things. Okay. So, you are working in the temple, tending to the wounds of the soldiers who come back from either normal security work or from the Great Wall to the north, stationed at the gate where you have been stationed before. Give us some insight what you are thinking while you are just hanging out there in the temple, helping people. As goes for your player, you are right now still a fighter.
Wiglov is, mostly just kind of frantically running, maybe not like frantically, but like, being a bit of a busybody, trying to get to all the different injured soldiers. Some of them are dying, some of them are maimed, some of them need, like wooden, what are those things called? The things that you help, like one of those pieces, like you put like a piece of wood or a piece of something like next
Splints?
to their leg. A splint, yeah. Like some of them need splints and stuff. And he's just kind of like mostly just kind of like frantically running around the place, trying to figure out like who's dying, who needs help the most right now, or who needs like a nurse or a doctor or a surgeon. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he's I think he's just kind of like mostly thinking about that. Like are his friends going to be okay? Are we going to lose a lot of people today? That sort of thing. Just kind of like his mind's pretty busy, like working in the infirmary.
Okay. How has the constant, um, how do I put this? You are constantly surrounded by people being wounded, people dying, being at the brink of death, trying to avoid death. How has this impacted Wiglov?
Wiglov's probably seen people die in their moments, like kind of like having like last wishes or regrets and all sorts of like different revelations that they felt they never can ever achieve again in their lives. Young people, old people, new soldiers, veterans, that sort of and like. And he's just, he's coming more to terms with the idea that death is a part of life. It is, the next journey, the next passage on after we leave this mortal realm. And he's more comfortable, kind of like a sort of release, sort of like warmth amongst people that are clearly dying, probably either horribly or not so horribly, maybe just peacefully in their sleep. He's just being around it at all the times. Like he's more accepting of it. And the idea of like he wouldn't have like horrible reactions to people dying around him. Like this is an everyday job for him, being around this kind of strife.
Okay.
So he's calm, peace. He's at peace with himself, knowing that he can't save everyone, and
He's
knowing that,
accepted
yeah,
that some things are in his hands and some things are out of his hands, and he's just
yeah,
more or less there to help the people along their journey.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
doing whatever he can to help ease their passage
perfect.
if they are going to die.
So, after a long day at the temple, it's getting dark outside. Do you head outside of the temple? Do you enter into this? Sometimes you forgot words. Agora is the Greek word for some reason. I know this one. This big open space and in front of the temple, and there is a few trees around. It's a nice place in the city. And as you step out of the temple, you notice in one of the big trees outside of the temple there sits a large bird. Give me a perception check.
Yeah, I am not proficient with perception. That'd be
Doesn't matter.
1d20.
It's just
Oh.
1d20 plus perception.
Oh, plus perception.
First roll of the game.
9. No.
Nice.
Nice roll, yeah. You see this bird sitting in the tree, and you notice that something is off with this bird. And as you stand there and focus on it, it seems like this bird is extremely wounded, like parts of his flesh are missing, but it's really hard to make things out. And as you turn around and look at other people around you, do you point the bird out to them or not?
This is a super abnormal, right? Like this, like there are not like
Yeah.
would I know what an undead would look like, or would I not know? Like you said, this bird looks like its flesh is missing and it's a large bird.
You really can't put this into anything.
Okay.
This looks like a bird, but it's too large to be like. It looks like somewhat like an owl bird, but it's too large, and the wound is too severe. You have never seen something like this. This makes no sense to you.
I see. I might, stop some commenter, like let's see, some human or whoever else next to me, and be like, "Hey, look up at that! You see that bird up there?"
You point towards the bird sitting in a tree, and the human looks at you and he says, "What the fuck have you been smoking?" and keeps walking.
I can't believe you can't see the bird. It's right. And I just kind of, I just stare at I'm gonna walk up to the tree. How far away am I from the tree? Am I like 10 feet?
50 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna walk to the tree. I'm bedazzled by this bird. I'm like, what is this creature? Nobody, this person.
As you get closer, like 30 feet or so, the bird jumps off his branch and flies into the night sky.
Oh, what? Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, Wiglov's like, he's just confused. Like, what did I just see? My mind must be getting to me today. And then he's gonna just walk back to his hovel, his home in Darius, with his family.
Actually, to the barracks. You are still in the military guild service, so you walk back to your barracks and.
Right. I thought I was getting off work. Sorry.
Yeah. You are military. You never off work.
Yeah. There's no off work.
So you arrive at the barracks and grab something to eat, and then probably talk with some comrades and head to bed, I assume.
Yep.
And as you fall asleep, you think about this bird. This is really strange. That the whole situation, the people around you not noticing it, this is very, very strange. And you fall asleep and awake, and all around you is a dark grey nothingness. You look to the ground, it's just ash and dust. It looks like ash and dust, and you look in all directions and see in front of you probably the same tree that the bird was sitting on, but the tree is dead. No leaves on it, nothing. And sitting on the tree once again, a too large owl bird.
Okay,
It's facing away from you.
Oh. Can I, I'm gonna speak to the bird. I'm like, what do you want?
The bird
Have I done something to anger the gods?
The bird turns his face and looks at you, and even though the light is very strange, you can immediately see that this bird does not have any flesh on his face. It's a bird skull staring at you and looks at you very intently. You look away from the bird because the gaze is very intense, and you notice under the tree lying a person. And as you look at it, you hear a voice. "Step forward, my child."
Okay,
And the owl somehow points his wing at the body.
Okay, I'll just slowly step forward. I don't know what the heck else I'm going to be doing.
You look at between the bird and the man on the ground. You notice very quickly that this man is probably dying. He's either extremely wounded or very ill with some sort of sickness, and you get closer to it and look at the person as you feel this is appropriate at this point, as you hear once again the voice. "Tell me, will he survive?"
And Wiglov thinks for a moment, and he knows. You said this is immortal. This is like some sort of severe thing, whatever's happening to this person, he's
Can't
going to
really put your finger on it. This all is surreal around you. But as you look at this person, you will notice in your mind, guaranteed 100% this person is going to die soon.
Yeah.
There's no question.
I tell the voice, the bird or the spotty voice or whatever. I'm like, yes, this person is going to pass to the other life.
At this point, you notice that you are trying to speak, but no sound comes from you. And you hear once again the voice of whom you assume it's the bird talking to you says, "You can feel it. This is one of my gifts to you. End his suffering and make sure his grace arrives with my brother." And as he speaks this, you notice that you are holding in your hand a large obsidian spike.
Oh.
Well, large is, it's like, what is this? Half a foot in length, but it's very spiky.
Yeah. I think I know what that looks like. I'm gonna. I think I've been commanded to end this person's life, so I've seen this before, so I figured I'll just help them along the way. So I'm going to. You said it's a spike. I guess I can chant. I probably know where to jam it if I wanted to try and like ease someone's suffering, right? But not like have it be too painful. Or would that be a medicine check?
No, this is
a
very strange word. Nothing really makes sense to you.
Gotcha. In that case, I'm just gonna bash it into the skull.
Probably not use the spike to bash someone in the skull, but yeah.
Yeah.
And imparted in your brain, you also feel this idea that you're supposed to pray for his soul.
Yes.
As the voice has commanded you. And I figure that you take an active act in ending this suffering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. After the spike has been heavily laid into the man's skull, whoever this is. Yeah, I go into the prayer position, whatever that might be, and then.
Yeah. And as you sit there over the body and pray, you notice that the body seems to shift what it is. First, it was obviously a man. Then it's obviously a goblin, and the next moment it's obviously an orc. Then it's somebody you have never seen before, and then it's a person that you recently had a run into, like some stubborn other person in the temple, someone you really don't like, and it seems to be can't really make a grapple to who this person is, as it keeps to be changing. And from above you hear once again the voice, "With my gifts come responsibilities. Keep that in mind." And the body disappears in front of you. And instead of the body on the ground now is a large piece of bone, about the same length as the obsidian spike that is still in your hand. Even though you used it to end this suffering, it's still in your hand and looks like you have never used it. And you pick up the bone, you notice that there is a hole in the bone, and the voice comes again. "My mark on this world. Make the creatures believe in it again." And with this dreamlike state seems to end, and you go back to unconsciousness.
All right.
As you wake up the next time in the morning, what is your first reaction?
Well, I'm waking up like, oh, these crazy nightmares. I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna see if the spike is like along like that obsidian spike that I had held in my hand, the hole in it. I'm gonna see if that's around my bed or on my person or on the floor. I'm checking around for the bird.
You check around, and then it dawns on you that you could technically check your hands, and you notice that in one hand you have the bone, and in one hand you have the spike.
Oh boy, that's not creepy at all. All right.
Also,
Yeah,
one
I'm
thing
going-
you notice is that there is a second small hole in the bone.
Does it look
Which,
like a
yeah,
lace could go through it,
yeah,
like a small piece of string or something?
yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna look at these things and a bit bewilderment.
Give me a
And
wisdom
then,
check.
yeah, oh boy, I can do that. Yeah. Whew.
You think about these things in your hands, and there's this bone with the hole in the middle and the other small hole that you could put a lace in, and you try to put the spike into the bone, and you notice that it fits perfectly, with the lace being with the bone being upright, and then the black spike going through it at an acute angle, like 30 degrees or something.
So they look interconnected. So
Yeah.
can it be taken back apart, or
Yes.
is it like permanent? Okay.
You can put the spike into the bone, and you can pull the spike out of the bone. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So are there any markings on on these items, either on the bone or the spike?
No.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna. Okay. I guess I'll go to a store of some sort and try and find like a necklace, like a small rope. I could probably tie these things on, tie them together, and keep them on me.
You go out, and there's this nagging feeling in your mind that you don't want to just purchase a piece of lousy ropes. Instead, you probably want to get like a proper chain, maybe made of some exquisite material, and you quickly end up in a jeweler shop and will have to fork over 10 gold pieces to buy a chain that is appropriate for what you think this might be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that.
All right.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I assume you head back to your temple and continue with your duties.
Yeah.
Stepping into the temple, you go back to your dream and try to do what you did in this dream world and focus on the people in front of you. And you notice whenever you look at them and try to consider their path between being alive and being dead, you can without a doubt always tell if somebody is dying soon or not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And also, as you approach one of the... Give me a 1d6.
Right.
In this case, it's a good roll. You approach one of the beds, and there lies one of your old companions, one you have served with before at the gate. And your sense is ticking off as it's not guaranteed dying, so this is with proper care this person can survive. Without proper care he's dying, and you try to alleviate his wounds that he has, like some insectoid probably bit into his leg and wounded a major artery or something, and as you touch it, all of a sudden there comes this dark glow. It's like really hard to put, but it's definitely shiny, but also dark at its center, and the wound heals over.
Oh. Wiglov is very surprised that he's able to do this. He's kind of like, his mouth is, his jaw is agape, and he's just kind of standing there, eyes wide, and he's like thinking to himself, how did these powers come to be? It must have been that dream that I had. There has to be something more to this. And then he takes the spike in the bone, and he doesn't. Never mind. I was gonna say he isn't compelled to kill the man, right? Because his god wants things to go through their journey. But never mind. Yeah, I guess the guy's healed up, and I'm going to run out of the infirmary or whatever because I'm freaking out that I even have this ability.
Because you even get to run out of the temple, behind you steps the head father of the temple and looks at you completely bewildered and says, "What just happened?"
Oh, I don't know, Padre. I touched that man's leg, and I thought this man was clearly going to die. It seemed, but I was some dark glowing force just healed it back up. I don't understand.
He gets.
Hey, look, and I'm pointing to the man's leg that the guy that was on the bed.
Yeah, the person who was. In moments before, he was at the brink of death, and nobody was really sure if he can be saved or not. And now he's just breathing normally. The wound is no longer bleeding. He is obviously still unconscious, but he's. And as you look at him, definitely not dying anymore. And the father gets big eyes, and he says, "You. I think. Wait. Stay here. Do not go anywhere. I have to talk to someone." And he runs out of the temple.
And I don't.
That was a clear order by one of your superiors. This is not something you would consider breaking. So.
Yeah. Wiglov doesn't know what to do, whether to run or stay, because I guess but he's in the military, so he's probably not. He's not going to run.
So Wiglov staying exactly where he is, and. We shift our focus to one of our other players. Tough.
What's up?
You have been hanging out in Tarega for some time, working the shops, mainly your shop, some other shop as well, and helping out in the local temple, also doing some sort of, I don't know, have you been trying to heal people, like being a caretaker, or more just a laborer in the temple, like washing cloths?
I've done both.
You've done both, okay.
Official duty is mainly like washing cloths and stuff, but Usmar is a very community-driven person, and he uses a lot of his free time to just go like help people, because he's learned the skills of anatomy and healing within his books, so he wants to help where he can.
Perfect. As you finish up your day in the temple and head home, the head father of your temple approaches you, and he hands you a letter, basically, and on the letter it says, he says to you, "I think you, I really appreciate all the help that you have given us around here. The call from the Royal Council has arrived at me, and I think you are the most suited person to, you are most suited to answer this call." And he hands you a letter that is signed with the Royal Council stamp, and it basically reads, "In the light of recent events, the Royal Council is looking for willing and competent people to help us investigate what goes on behind the divide. We, as the Royal Council, have deemed it necessary to broaden our horizon and blah blah blah, something. Basically, they are calling for people to enlist to some sort of great mission that will change the fate of this world. Maybe, maybe not, but
as I
it's
read the
written like
letter,
this.
I look up at him in kind of concern. You really think I'm best suited for this?
Well, you know, your apprenticeship is coming to an end. We really appreciate all the work you do here, but I think you are wasting your talent just staying here doing the work that is. I think you're someone with your abilities is much more suited to aid in things that are bigger than his local town, don't you think?
This is just so sudden. I'll have to talk to my master about this. But I thank you for the letter, and I give him a bow,
Mm-hmm.
and I run off to my shop,
Yeah.
showing my master the letter, asking for his opinion.
As you approach him with the letter, he furrows his brows and grabs a similar letter that is on his desk and says, "Huh. I have received the same letter by the channel of our guild.
Oh, are you coming as well?
No, I have my shop and the adventuring life is not for me, but I too think that you would be very much suited, and with your apprenticeship coming to an end here, you have to be looking out to make something of yourself in this world. I will give you my blessing," he says, and bows his head in your direction.
I look astonished. Yeah. I guess so. Just a heads up would have been nice, I guess. But yeah, I think you're right.
He looks at you and says, "A heads up is not something that is available for us in life at some points. We transmute things, and I don't think whatever ends up at the end of the transmutation has gotten a heads up."
That's fair. I nod my head and I kind of look at him as I turn around. My head is still kind of fixed towards him, but I move around to go like gather my stuff. And well, before I take a couple of steps to go pack my stuff, and then I turn back around and I'm like, so am I heading off to the capital today?
Don't be silly, it's close to nighttime. Also, if you don't want to, you don't have to. I think this would be a good step for you to take, and you know you will always have a place in my house. I have raised you basically as my son, and I do not regret this.
I feel I don't have the wisdom to make such a grandiose decision, but since it is both recommended by you and the father of the temple, I don't have the arrogance to overturn such advice.
Perfect.
And I guess since it's nighttime, or is it like daytime, or like is it?
No, it's the end of the day. Like you
Okay,
came home at the end of the day. Let's probably
sure.
grab
So
something to eat and then read a bit and then go
Sure.
to bed.
So I'll go make some like evening tea and some crumpets for us to eat. for me and Master here.
Yeah, and you enjoy a nice evening together, and basically you make plans to head out the next day. He will give you, as a parting gift, your spellbook, obviously, and also a pouch filled with 20 gold pieces. And the next day you will probably grab some horses, I assume, to ride the distance, or do you want to walk?
How long is the ride from here to the capital?
With horse it should be 1 day if you push it a bit, and by foot it's 2 days basically.
Sure. So I probably go up to the stable. I ask him how much for a horse.
You don't ask
Or I
me
ask
things
the
like
stable
this.
master.
Sorry.
I'm not.
I gave you the idea and then I wasn't prepared.
Oh no! Don't worry, I have a
Oh.
plan. I'm not planning on buying a horse.
He
Yeah, third
says,
price.
7,500 copper, please.
yeah, 1 gold piece for a horse for 1 day. And if you take longer, then you will have to pay at arrival.
I walk up to the horse. I pull like a dagger from my belt, and I'm like, "How about 1 silver for a lock of its hair?"
The guy looks at you and says, "You one of those wizard types, aren't you?"
I smile at him.
And he steps over next to you and he takes the dagger from your hand and cuts a few hairs off the horse and gives them to you and says, "More power to you, just don't try to shave my horses, okay?"
Gotcha. I give him a big smile. Take my dagger back. And go cast mount and ride to the capital.
Well, that's gonna be a bit awkward.
I just walk like maybe like 15 meters away from him and then start my ritual. I think it has a casting time of 1 turn, so
Yeah.
I'm like chanting and I'm looking at the horse every now and then to like get a reference because I need to summon the same type of creature.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then I summon a horse.
Yeah.
I get on it and I salute the stable master and I start heading off. It's only gonna last for I think like 3 hours,
Yeah.
but I got a couple of hairs, so I'll walk a bit and then the next day I'll cast it again.
Yeah. As you walk out of the stable and start casting, you see the stable master standing next to the door and like slowly shaking his head, and I don't know. He has seen this shit happen before, and he has accepted his fate. And as your casting finishes, appearing in front of you is the same horse that you have just taken the hairs from, as it disappears from the stable.
Wait, does it disappear from the stable?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
It's the same horse. It just got teleported 20 meters and is now willing
I
to
think-
carry you. But
I think
it's the same horse.
I think the spell text says that it's the same type of creature.
Mhm.
So it. Okay.
The
but
same
yeah,
horse definitely is the same type as the creature.
Sure. Okay. I'm kind of confused. Like, wait.
It just takes the nearest horse and teleports it to you and makes it willingly to carry you.
Oh, I'm like, wait. Am I
Oh,
supposed
that's
to,
how that works.
like, wait, am I supposed to pay for this now?
No, you just get on the horse and you ride off.
And I just ride out, I guess, because I look back to see where the stable master is, and I guess he's like moved inside already or something.
Yeah, he was just shaking
Yeah.
his head in disbelief and accepting his fate as getting ripped off once again by some mage who does crazy shit.
Alright,
but-
well, I guess that means I get to ride. I'm sure it'll teleport back,
Yeah.
knowing that it does it.
Yeah, you're right. For you don't know what happens. I mean, have you
Yeah, I
ever
don't know
casted a spell before and
I've
seen actually
casted
where the
it
horse
before.
comes from?
I haven't seen. I probably haven't seen where the horse comes from.
Yeah. You know that after the spell runs out, the horse disappears. That's all you know.
Yeah, sure. But I'm
And
gonna be
judging
casting it
from the
again the
reaction
day
of the
after.
stable master, it's probably safe to assume that it reappears where he is, where it was before.
Okay.
Else he probably would be a bit more pissed.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. You
Yeah, right
can
after.
write for what's 48 divided by 10, 12, 13, 14 miles, and then your horse disappears.
Yep, and then I start walking for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Make camp.
You can walk for 14, 15, 16 miles. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So you get about to here.
Awesome. And then I probably have some like cooking utensils stolen from or taken from my master.
Mm-hmm.
I set up camp.
You set up camp in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you prefer high numbers or low numbers?
I prefer high numbers.
You prefer high numbers, okay. I guess you just sleep next to the road in the middle of nowhere.
Do I see like another traveling party on my way to the capital?
There's always like some people around here. This is the main road between the capital and
Yeah.
the
So
river.
I try to like join another traveling party. I'm like, hey, you guys also going to the capital?
I'm doing.
Yeah, you meet some people who are heading the same direction, and you more or less end up in one of those larger camping groups that always form around these pathways, and by this you're probably safe for the night.
Yeah.
There's not like any guards or something, but there's I don't know, like 15 people or so, a few cards, and someone will probably always be awake. You can keep a watch with them, stay awake for some part of the night, or sleep. That's your choice.
Sure. Out of habit, I cook for everyone here.
That's well received. And after a night on the road, you continue on your way to Barrios. Do you summon a horse again, or?
Since I have another traveling party, maybe if there's like a carriage, I just ride on that, or
It's just some
like-
carts pulled by donkeys or mules, and
yeah, sure. So if are other people on it, or is it just like
no, it's walking with the donkey. So on the cart there's goods, probably
Sure. So
some agricultural stuff, and
sure.
they're
So I just
walking.
walk with them.
You walk with them. That's fine. So you arrive in the town proper somewhere in the late afternoon, and can meet up at the designated point that has been communicated, which is the Royal Meeting Hall, or the Royal Council's Meeting Hall. There's a lot of people, and we will leave you at this point here and jump to our last player that's here right now, Rufen.
Hello.
Hello. Where is Rufen right now?
Well, he's probably just coming out of like a weekly or monthly type of like ritual he does. Goes to the woods for deep into the woods for multiple days and just kind of survives there by himself. That uses these rituals to kind of immerse himself into nature in these recent few months, and has now gotten a more profound view of nature in general, really connected back with his elven heritage, and is now covered in mud, sludge, whatever, bird droppings, walking out of some sort of woods. Possibly he has that letter or something, a parchment similar to the letter Uzma received uh, in his hands, and he's squinting at it, looking at and trying to spell out words in common, as he only speaks and reads Elven and only speaks common. So he is illiterate in the common language of humans, as he's trying to
Yeah.
squint at this piece of paper and figure out and make sure he's going in the right direction.
Yeah. If he would take like a few weeks, he probably could learn how to read this thing, but this
I think
somewhat
it hasn't
derogative
been
language is not really worth spending time to learn to read and write, I guess.
exactly.
Yeah. So there is this mud and dirt covered elf who walks into the town. Nobody stops him. People look at you. Some with awe, some with ugh. They know who you
Okay.
are. You are one of those strange elves that sometimes wander the kingdom. They know that you have killed quite a few of goblins. You probably have some goblin ears with you to
Sure. Yeah.
drop off at the local bounty office to collect some silver pieces.
The moment I'm within viewing range of close viewing range of other humans, as they're especially humans, I kind of dust myself off as Reuven, the still rather young elf, is definitely puts up airs of himself, straightens up his back and makes sure his dual swords and his fabulous bow are all visible as he's walking into town
Yeah.
with a fake swagger.
Yeah. If it weren't
Yeah.
for the smell, people would probably they would applaud you. Let's be real here. So right now they don't, but that's happens. Yeah. You head into the bounty office, drop off your 7 goblin ears, get your 7 silver pieces, and ask one of the people to tell you what exactly is written on this piece of parchment that you have.
Yeah, asking in this still kind of slightly broken, a very accented common tongue. He's asking and giving this paper to one of the clerks working in the office to translate it again for him.
He translates to you that blah blah blah, the Royal Council looking for people, blah blah blah, and looks at you. Give me a charisma check.
With the disadvantage,
Sure.
goblin shit.
Let's see if I can figure out how this sheet works.
Uh,
I don't think I can roll from here. I think I
I
just have to do
think
a
you
manual.
can, but no, you cannot.
Yeah, I don't see a button, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, you can use the charisma in a macro to call it, but
Yeah. Ooh, 14.
yeah, this guy, he is really kind of maybe afraid of you, and he translates to you what you're supposed to do and where this place is. You have no fucking clue where the Royal Council meeting hall is.
Yes. Reuven kind of just nods as he's talking, and then at the end takes the paper with a serious face, nods at him and says, "Thank you, human."
You know what Reuven knows though is that this guy definitely knows where the Royal Council meeting hall is. He can probably take you there.
Okay.
Oh,
Ooh.
I stabbed him in the face. Sorry.
Okay. And he kind of frowns up. He does his best to be as a manly elf as he can, really. Moves his muscles. His not very pronounced muscles. Now, human, you shall show me where this is, and tapping on it. Yes, you will.
He looks at you. He's kind of freaked out. He looks to the side to the bounty officer who kind of laughs at him and nods his head, and very unhappy, he walks you to the Royal Council meeting hall.
Very good.
And as you arrive, he says, "That's the hall. Just walk in there," and turns around and walks away.
Yes. He kind of props himself up before he walks in, like kind of doing a yes, I can in Elven, saying things like, okay, yeah, you're Reuven, you can do this. You're the Goblin Slaughterer, you can do this. Yes. Then goes in and bangs open the door and walks in with a like a real heft in his boots.
Well, he tries, so give me a strength check to see if you can
Ooh, yes.
bang open the door. It's a really heavy door.
Oh no.
Oh.
I love it. Yeah, he doesn't even like try and see how heavy this thing is. He just goes for it, assuming he can easily push it open.
See those numbers.
Natural one.
He walks
I
up
love
to the
this.
door and he, with a lot of enthusiasm, tries to throw open the door and pushes against the door, and nothing happens. And the only thing that happens is that it makes a thump, and as you recover from the thump and the fact that the door did not open, somebody from the inside pushes open the door in your direction.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's for like a good 2 seconds. He's like frozen with like embarrassment, but then he like I can't let the humans see me like this. And like
Yeah.
statures himself up and like nods at whoever has come out.
Awesome. You walk into the Royal Council meeting hall, and we jump back in time a few hours. It's still the same day. Wiglov, your superior just has ran away, and you are still in the temple as he returns. On his heel, 2 guards who are not dressed in the military guild's clothing, but instead in the royal guard's clothing. And he walks them into the temple and says to you, you have to go with them. I have talked with the counselor, and she said that you have to come to her directly. These fine gentlemen will guide you to her, and he basically just walks away.
Okay.
Leaves you with
wait.
2 royal guards who
Royal
look
guards,
at you.
Yeah, I guess.
Very fancy clothing, very fancy armor.
All right, fellas, let's lead the way. And
Yeah.
Wiglov is still confused of what the hell is going on, so
Yeah.
he's gonna follow them, reluctantly, of course,
Uh,
or hesitantly.
I mean, reluctantly. These are the royal guards.
No.
I mean, this is the.
I said hesitantly, not reluctantly. Like
Okay.
not that he doesn't want to go, it's just that he's like kind of stumbling while
Yeah.
he's walking. He's still lost in thought, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So, they walk with you, and they have to readjust their step because they're walking at twice your speed, which they manage gracefully, and they will guard you to the Royal Council's seat, which is not the meeting hall, and
Oh.
you are brought inside and into a waiting room, and one of the guards quickly disappears. The second one stays with you, guarding you, maybe. Who knows what exactly is happening. And a few minutes go by. Do you do anything, or are you just accepting your fate?
Wiglov is looking at the guard, the one that's guarding him. Is this more like the British, like the UK guard guys in the red coats, where they just kind of stand there and do nothing and speak
Yeah.
to no one? Okay.
The Royal Guard is very disciplined.
Gotcha.
They do not small talk. They like, yeah, very well mannered.
Wiglov is just sort of pacing. You know, he's not really sitting around. He's a bit nervous, doesn't know what's going on. He takes his items, the golden chain that he put on around the spike and bone, and he's looking at them. He's studying them. He's like, what the heck are these things? Like, why are they connected to me? How am I able to do these miraculous things and heal people? Well, what seems to be some sort of magic, or at least what he believes it to be, like wizard magic.
Mm-hmm. A few minutes go by, and then the second guard reappears and says to you, "Follow me."
Yes, sir.
And he leads you out of the waiting room. The second guard follows behind you, and you kind of have to move a bit quicker because they are moving too fast for your pace, for your natural pace. But this seems
I'm
to
gonna
be.
try to pick up a little.
Yeah, you like
Practice.
work your little dwarven feet so you can keep up with them, and they lead you into a parlor where, in front of you, there's this table. On this table is some fine glasses, cups, some wine probably, some snacks, and sitting on a very comfortable seat is a woman.
Do I recognize her as like a duchess or a queen or some person of nobility?
You would know if it were the queen. You would know that it is the queen. This is not the queen. From what you have heard, this is one of the counselors, which means it's.
Would her title be like Your Grace or something?
Not really. She's not one of the main council members, but she's one of the main advisors to the council.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Wiglov is just going to, nod in her direction, kind of like stand at attention, like, how they do in the military. Wait to be seated.
This woman is, by all standards, the most beautiful woman you have ever seen.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Is she a dwarf or a human?
It's a human, yeah.
Yeah, they're beautiful humans, beautiful dwarfs. Yeah, all right, I'm going to not do anything, because I'm a military man.
Yeah,
I'm on the job.
you stand there and at attention,
Yeah.
and she says, "Well, Wiglov, take a seat," and she points to another large, nice chair that is standing next to the table.
Yes, mom. And then, Wiglov,
Jumps up to the chair.
Did they give me a dwarf side chair? Or
No, they didn't.
Okay, can I use a strength check to hop up on the chair, or do I not need it?
You don't need it. You can do it.
I'm like, and then just kind of flop down on the chair.
And then she says, "Do you want something to drink, something to eat? Just be my guest." And she points at the table where there's the glasses and the food staying.
Is my head over the table, or do I have to put are my hands up on the side of the table?
No, it's a low table. It's
gotcha.
like
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Right. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab a tankard of mead and then just start chowing down on the food.
Yeah, you have to hop back off from your chair and grab something from the table. It's wine, but it's very good wine.
Ooh.
Give me a Grub Skill. Grub Skill is one of those very interesting skills that have popped up in these campaigns, I think. It's basically your ability to appreciate food.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah. So
1d20 -4 since I'm not proficient with that.
no, it would just roll your stat, or choose your stat. This is one of those where it doesn't really matter. If you want to roll, it's just 3d6, or you can say I'm a dwarf, I eat everything, and just take 18.
Well, in that case, I'm a dwarf.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So
You did it in 18. Okay.
you can just take 18, and then roll me a grub skill check, which would be 1d20 plus 18 in your case.
Oh wow. Okay. Right.
You know, that's good food.
Wow.
By your standards, that's good food. But then
Wow.
again, your standards are pretty shit. But nobody knows
Any
that.
food is
So
better than this.
yeah,
Yeah.
you will be the one person who will be enjoying eating insects. So
Nice.
good choice. So you enjoy your food, and you notice that she's not really saying much right now. Just kind of staring at you.
How many tankards of ale have I gone, or wine have I gone through?
You picked up your glass, then you ate something, and then you noticed that she's staring at you and didn't really want to continue drinking that much.
Okay, well, I would like to continue drinking that much.
Yeah, this is somewhat of an awkward situation. So, do you break the silence, or are you waiting for her to break the silence?
I start hammering through the food. I'm like, what brings you to have me here? Mom, sorry.
My name is Septima. I'm one of the main advisors to the Royal Council. One of the more important one lately.
Okay.
My family,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to go into these details. Basically, I have heard about what you have done today.
I stop eating immediately. Just staring at her.
And she says, show it to me.
I'm going to look for. What am I looking for? Oh, I'm going to take the tankard of wine that I have. And wait, is there any water around? Not wine.
No. She starts pointing at your necklace.
Oh, that. Oh, sorry. I thought she was going to say. I was going to take the water and turn it to wine. Anyway, yeah, I'll just take the golden chain off, and do I feel compelled to give it to her, or do I feel compelled to keep it in my hands, or can I just hand this stuff
You
off?
kind of reach it over to her, and she doesn't make any moves to take it, but she looks at it very interested.
Oh, yeah. I just show it to her, like give it the gold chain treatment, Satan's spike, bone. I show her that the bone, or the bone connects into the spike, I believe it was, or the spike connects into the bone, one of the two.
She says, that's what it's made of. Interesting. I will let my brother know. He will be very interested to know this.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her if she knows anything about this, obsidian spike or whatever this is.
I do not know anything about your symbol in particular, other than that it exists. I know what it means for... let me shed a bit of light on what has happened to you and why you have been brought here. A few months ago, there was a very unexpected change of events when somewhere on the island of Hatana, I don't know if you have ever heard about it, a paladin came to be. Do you know that these old stories about people healing other people, the gods intermingling with humans, the things we accepted to be just fairy tales?
My family, they told me of these things. I always thought they were just children's tales to put me to sleep.
Apparently, we were wrong. And you appear to be one of the chosen few who have been blessed by those deities whom we thought to not exist?
I know of the gods from what my family has told me, but
I can assure you, dear dwarf, that this is none of these gods.
Do I get a sort of like a sort of feeling of like I know that this particular thing that spoke to me is some sort of divine being, or do I not have that idea?
You do what you think that is the right thing to do right now.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try and keep myself a little bit quieter. Like, I am going to tell her that it seems that I may be a wizard. I seem to have magical powers of some sort. It wasn't until this obsidian spike and bone came into my presence. I was lying around, you know.
Tell me, how did they come into your presence?
I don't think I'm going to try and deceive her, but he doesn't feel like this is safe, telling everyone like the kind of things that's happened to him. Like, you know, who's going to try and use them for their gain? Who's going to try and like, you know, abuse their powers toward him? Like, you know, this is all very new, but he's trying to use his wisdom to try and like navigate around this politically, so to speak.
Give me a charisma check.
Yeah. That'd be plus. What was my charisma? It is a 10. Okay.
Dear dwarf, Wiglov, I will remind you that as an advisor to the Royal Council, I outrank you in every possible way. So, I do not want to force you to give me the information that I seek, but it is in my right to do so. So I will ask you once again, how did these items end up in your possession?
Yeah, Wiglov is, you know, kind of sighs a bit. He's like, I was spoken to by a voice in a dream of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was some sort of other place that I was teleported to or something, but it seems this voice gave me these objects and told me to spread their will from the moment I woke up. So
did by any chance a strange animal appear in your dreams?
Yeah, there was what looked like a bird without its flesh on its skull, staring at me from, you know, outside of one of the temples here.
Mm.
Nobody else seemed to have seen it, but I saw it clear as day.
A giant bird, you say? Can you be
Yeah.
any more specific? Was it a hawk? Oh.
No, it must have been larger than that. No bird that usually flies around these places.
Did it more look like a hawk, a falcon,
Maybe an
owl?
Yeah, that was it. An owl.
An owl, okay. An owl with no face.
Yeah, no meat, no feathers, just a skull staring back at me into the void.
Interesting. So far we have heard about a few of those animals, representatives of the deities themselves. Who really knows? But a owl with no face. That is new. Also the symbol. It's one of those that are still missing.
Do you know which deity this might be? Ma'am.
From my understanding, I cannot give you a name, but it seems to be affiliated with death.
Yeah, Wiglov is just kind of silent from then on, waiting for more questions.
She's
Doesn't know how
also
to react.
silent, thinking about.
Yeah.
Then she shakes her head and breaks the suspense and says, anyways, apart from this, you are exactly who we are looking for. You know, as part of the military, you must have been informed about this. The Royal Council is looking for people to help us investigate the recent increase in aggression from the east, find out what's going on behind the divide. Your divine powers appearing, that's just another dot on this in this picture, and it seems to be forming about the things we have believed wrongly, and our queen and the council have decided to investigate if there's more truth to the old stories in large, since some of them have obviously become true now. And I would specifically task you with leading one of those groups. A renowned fighter turned healer, became priest. You seem to be the perfect fit to have a good balance between loyalty to our kingdom and us as the Royal Council, and also the spirit necessary to deal with what lies beneath. And she, from behind her, produces a parchment and lies it in front of you on the table.
Well,
And
I can't read.
you can't read?
No. I used my proficiencies for blacksmithing and armorsmithing.
Oh shit. No, you don't have
I'm going to-
in your language in either?
I'm gonna act as though I could read though.
You only have spoken languages?
Yup, common and dwarven. That's
Oh.
as my. Can I? Would this be a deception check? Because I'm not really trying to lie to her. I'm just trying to be like, yeah, words.
Give me a charisma check. How good you can hide that you can't read?
Oh boy, yep. Okay, that's a 10. I think my dog is wanting me to go take a look. Oh no. Oh no.
You look at this thing and you say, aha, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I guess I will accept her. You say something like this and she looks at you and then goes like, well, I didn't expect a priest not to be able to read. But yeah, anyways, if you would kindly put your signature on the end of the page, and she points at the end of the page where there's a line and there's a inkwell and a feather on the table as well.
I'm going to put an X on the page because I do not know how to write either.
Yeah. As you put the X on the sheet, you notice that the X is very tilted and actually is comprised of a horizontal line and a line that is in an acute angle and goes through it.
Yo.
Somehow you felt compelled to sign your X like this.
Yeah.
And she says, well, with this being done, I will give you your copy of the contract, and she hands you another sheet of paper. And Thank you for your service. Please, the Royal Guards will accompany you to the Royal Council meeting hall, where you have the privilege of choosing your companions.
Well, thank you. Okay. Yeah, Wiglov, he stands back at attention,
Yeah.
gives her the soldier's salute, and then heads off.
I will give you access to the paper you have just signed.
Oh boy.
You technically cannot read it, but you have access to it, so if the player wants to read it, he can. The player character has no idea what he just signed. And you head off to the Royal Council Hall, where you met with a bunch of people who are there. There is some sort of scribe or a clerk who is checking in people, and standing at the desk of one of the clerks right now is one of the very few elves that are in this land at the time.
Wiglov he's mesmerized. He's looking at the self, and he's like, oh,
That is the one and only Goblin Slayer, Rufen.
Oh, yeah. So I'm gonna walk up to the elf. I'm like, oh, are you the Goblin Slayer of the forests that I've heard so much about?
Rufen, hearing this voice, turns around with a splendor, his silvery hair glistening, his sharp eyes staring at you, his blades clinking, beautifully made elven blades clinking each other, his golden wood bow at his shoulder. He looks up and then has to crane his head downward because he was expecting someone with his height, and then where the hell did this voice come from? And it looks down. Yes, I am. Yes. What do you want, dwarf?
Well,
He kind of frowns at you.
Yeah, Wiglov looks. He doesn't look. He looks as though he's probably got calloused hands from all the training he's done with his fighting and stuff, and he's kind of puts his hands up he's a little scared, doesn't know if he wants to touch you or not. Just to touch the elf. He's never met an elf. He's only ever heard of you. Being in your presence is just something glorious to him, and he's like, elf. I'm sorry. My name is Wiglov. And I was told by the council lady to come here and meet up with a group of people that I could pick.
As this awkward meeting happens, one of the royal guards steps next to the clerk and whispers something to him, and the clerk nods his head, and the royal guard steps away, and then the clerk says, "Well, Mr. Wiglov, the dwarf, it's your choice, I guess. You want to pick him?"
Yeah. He's immediately, he just looks at the elf, points at him, yeah, he's coming with me, yeah.
What? He looks, Reuben looks at him surprised, shaking his head, head back and forth, looking at the dwarf and the clerk, looking back and forth. What?
Yeah, I have this paper here, and I'm going to pull out the contract that he was given by the lady. He's like, I don't know any of the words, but I think this gives me permission to take you with me. Yeah.
Give it to me now. And he grabs it from your hands and does the exact same thing you did in the previous scene of pretending to know how to read, and kind of puts it up to his face and kind of just stares at it for a good 10 seconds. But then hands it back to you.
So what'd you get from it? I had to put my signature down there. It's an amazing X. Anyway.
Behind you in line is this human, this ordinary human who is kind of weirded out by the situation, I guess, and steps up to the table to sign in.
Wait, is this me?
This is you, yeah.
Yeah, I hold the note that I got in between two of my fingers.
Yeah.
It seems that you have a position of authority here.
Are you talking to the clerk or are you talking to the dwarf?
I was talking. Is it dwarf? Am I not a dwarf?
The dwarf and the elf are standing next to the table with the clerk and are talking about what's written on this paper. Both obviously cannot read. This is so obvious to you. Okay, so you step forward to the clerk and
I slide him the note. Okay. I guess I'm here. Smile at him.
You slide him the note and he's okay. And who would you be? As he takes
Usmar.
his feather and okay. Usmar.
Usmar, the Great Transmuter.
Usmar, the Great Transmuter. And he writes down Usmar, comma, Transmuter.
Wiglov, he looked at his contract, looks up at the human, he's like, hey, can you just tell me a few things off of that paper? I can't quite make that out. And he points at just one of the random letters on the paper. He's like, yeah.
Sorry, what part of this don't you understand? I feel like this is pretty clearly written.
Don't worry, I can fix this. He just points.
Usma, you also have access to the letter. You can read it if you want to.
Yeah. He just gestures to the entire letter.
Reuven will also intently stare at you. Yes. Can you read out to all of us so everyone here, even those that can read this letter, like myself, would know what is written there?
Excuse me, so you want me to read the letter for you?
I did not say that. I just read it out loud.
The clerk on the table is like putting his hand over his face.
I kind of wanted to look at the clerk for reassurance that I'm not the crazy one here, and then his hand's on his face so it doesn't see me. Okay, and I read the letter. The Royal Council tasks you to gather information about the happenings behind the divide, the ongoing attacks on our mining platforms, as well as the increase of aggression that is observed at the Great Gate, paired with the recent discoveries of divine powers, have led the Royal Council to believe that there might be more reality to our ancient stories than we have believed previously. Therefore, the Royal Council is interested in establishing whether or not there is a separate human society living past the observed wasteland or inside of the wasteland. Any wealth you acquire on the mission will belong to you. The Royal Council only requests that any sales of acquired informational goods, for example books or scrolls, will be made to the Royal Council's library first. Be aware that taking on this mission is extremely dangerous and has a high chance in resulting in the death of some or all of you. By signing this contract, you waive any responsibility of the Royal Council. And then I point to the dwarf's signature on it.
Yeah, that's me. My name, I'm Wiglov. And he, puts his hand out to shake your hand. He's kind of pointing it up, far upward, because he's a dwarf.
I raise my eyebrows and smile slightly, and I shake his hand. It's quite the contract you signed.
Oh yeah, lots of words. So would you like to join us?
I think back to the father of my town. I think I do.
Sorry, let me beat my dog for just a moment. I'll be right back.
Let's take a 5 minutes break. We've been going for like 1.5 hours already, so everybody has some minutes to walk the dog, go to the toilet, grab something to drink. Okay.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So I'll be right back. Tra-la-la. The game is turning out to be fun. I am back.
Hello, hello, hello. I got my dog outside. Everything's cool. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no troubles.
I didn't want it to be weird or anything. I was like, oh god, I have to get this dog away or else it's going to start coming into the mic and it's going to mess up your stream. Didn't want to do that. So.
I just took 5 minutes break. Been going for 1.5 hours already anyways, so
Yeah.
sounded like a good place to take a break anyways. Let's see.
I'm enjoying it so far.
Perfect.
I was trying to like make Wiglov out to be like, I mean, yeah, he's in the military, but he's probably just your average fighter. He's not that great as a fighter, but he does know how to fight. So he's kind of I want him to be sort of like an uncertain, sort of like indecisive sort of guy when it comes to like danger and being safe and I guess you have to have some form of discipline being in the military, but he's sort of a coward, kind of, not really, but like he's got that sort of coward streak in him, and that like if he knows he's going to be in danger, he'll probably just hide. But I want to do that more on the roleplay stuff, not necessarily in combat, because that would be bad. Something like he has to, sort of like a thing he has to get over with himself. Like his insecurities is like being not the strongest fighter. He's not the best, best equipped. And, he just kind of, he mostly left the battlefield because of his uncertainty and, himself as, a warrior. So, as I guess, or at least the way I wanted to view it, him moving forward is, this sort of like going to click him out of his, break him out of his shell a lot more, because he's going to be thrusted and forced into these sorts of decision-making things. And, he's not certain of his abilities. So, because he was going to try and go into this whole spiel with the Royal Council, like, oh, you don't need me to do this. I know these weird powers are coming, and maybe I just have, a cold or something. He's probably going to go away, probably going to go away. He's sort of dumbfounded that, like, this deity would pick him of all people. That's like kind of how he views it. I hope that can fit in well enough where it doesn't like break down the game when it comes to like the combat stuff, because I'm not gonna have him run away or anything. He's gonna mostly just be very defensive and more of a guardian for his companions, and less of being very offensive and just kind of always running out in the front. But he's probably gonna have to do that, since one of us is a ranger, one's a wizard, and the other one's a wizard.
Well, you can protect your comrades.
I will try my best.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Hello back.
Your dad?
I love it.
True story.
What? What?
We were just making dad jokes. Well, Duck made a dad joke. He said, "Hello, I'm back," and then Duck's like, "Welcome back."
Jesus.
Okay.
Like, are you dead? That was great.
So let's re-immerse. You're standing in the Royal Council meeting hall. There's a clerk sitting on a table. His hand, maybe both of his hands, over his face. A dwarf and a elf. Very excited about a piece of paper. Both of them obviously cannot read what's written on the paper. And there's this human mage standing next to them who has just loudly read out the contract that one of them signed to the group, and everybody in next to you who can hear things.
Oh man.
I think it was. Sorry, it was my name. You want to go?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was just asking because there was a line. There was more people behind me. Does anyone turn around and leave after hearing the contract?
No. One of them is very excited.
Jesus.
Actually, the person who's most excited is probably this one gnome who's standing behind you. Whose name I do not know, but looks wizardy.
He looks like a wizard.
Sure.
And he speaks up and he says, what does he say? I think I would be the perfect fit for your group as well.
Oh, great! We have ourselves a new traveling companion. It looks like this party's yeah, great.
Proven at this point, like almost screams out. Previously, his voice was very manly and low, and now it's much higher octave. He's like, "What? What? When did I ever say I was in this group? Who said? Who?
I think I saw you excitedly shake this dwarf's hand.
I would. I would never. A dwarf?
Wow.
He has lost much of his previous outwardly charisma and is now heaving, red-faced. I would a dwarf, a party, the leader, not even. What?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh. Wiglov is like, he looks a little bit upset that the elf doesn't want to, the Goblin Slayer even, it doesn't want to join the group any longer, and he's like, but that contract clearly told me I could do this. I could ask anyone I wanted, so I of course I'm going to pick the most amazing Goblin Slayer.
That is okay. Those words are convincing now. He takes a deep breath and like walks a few steps away, so he's facing, like his back is facing all of you, and he like says some. You don't hear what he says, or do any of you speak Elven?
I don't think so.
Okay, but for out of character in Elven, he like kind of does some encouraging words for himself. Like, yeah, okay. I don't care if there's a dwarf leading the party. I'm still great. How can I manage a clan of elves without having seen leadership and without having seen even if this is bad leadership, it will still be experience.
Did I hear you talk even though I don't understand Elven?
Yeah, like in whispers.
Sure.
In powerful whispers.
I kind of look at the dwarf and I'm like, are you sure this guy's sane?
Oh yeah, wait. And I look up to the human. I'm trying to make it seem like I'm whispering to him, but I can't reach his ear at all. So
Crouch.
yeah, I guess I could tell him to crouch down, like, come here.
No, I do it.
Okay, so hey, this is the very famous and well-known Goblin Slayer. He's killed thousands of goblins in the course of his lifetime. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be fine. Absolutely.
That doesn't sound like a sane person to me, but yeah, well, he's probably capable, right?
Oh yeah.
Also, Usma, give me an intelligence check.
Oh, you want an intelligence check?
Yes.
Oh boy. Don't mind if
Yeah, there's your fucking int check, motherfucker.
Yeah. You know
Wow.
exactly that this elven person, this is the talk of the land if one of them appears around somewhere and stays. So, you have read about him, you heard about him. He's been around for what, 8 months or something. And you know how people work, like everybody becomes a local legend if he has pointy ears, so thousands of goblins, maybe
Yeah.
it's maybe 60 goblins if it's a high number. This is like completely blown out of proportion, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think even for like everything considered, just like the thought of a person who's like only going for goblins and is like obsessed with killing and murdering goblins,
Yeah.
it just gives kind of, psychotic vibes.
Yeah, but then again, you know exactly that this is so blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I know that
The story is probably that people have seen him come into town 3 times with 10 goblin ears and getting bounties, and now he is the famous Goblin Slayer who has...
So now I think he's insane, and I'm unsure of if he's capable.
Great.
I mean, there must be some merit to him slaying goblins, but...
Yeah, you can't just kill a goblin for free.
Yeah. You know that... Let's keep it down low, okay? The stories are stories, and this is not the first time that some random elf who has killed 2 goblins has become the Slayer of Goblins.
Yeah. So just gonna...
You've read about this type of stuff happening.
Yeah, I looked to the was it the clerk or chancellor?
The clerk.
I look at the clerk, I go like I, then I look at the elf, then I look back at the clerk.
The clerk looks at you and says, "If he wants you, he can take you," pointing at the dwarf. He has royal authority.
Oh. Well, I suppose there's no debate here then.
He kind of nods his head, yeah.
Wiglov has a big smile on his face. He's happy to take the elf along. When he looks at the human, he's fine.
Yeah.
and the gnome, you know.
Yeah, was it a random gnome who is standing there and willing to join the party? Because traveling with a dwarf and an elf, this is prime material to learn things.
Jesus.
After a while, Reuven does come back with his usual, some of his usual bravado is back as he steps back. His elven hair unnaturally swinging in the air with some unknown breeze, and looking like he's just swallowed a fly. He nods at you, Wiglaf, and says, "Leader."
Oh, this is glorious. We're going to be adventurous. Oh, I know how to take this.
Sir Dwarf, what is it exactly that gave you this authority?
Oh yeah. That was Septima, the Royal Council advisor. Yeah, that lady. She was very nice. She gave me alcohol and food, and just, it was a nice meal. Yeah, and then she just handed me the contract. Told me I had to listen to her.
Osmar looks baffled. I guess that's how it works in the city? There's no way, right?
Well, I mean...
You have heard about the Royal Council being very powerful in this sense, especially if anything is set up by them. They can basically do whatever they want to do. Like the whole thing, gathering people, this is all Royal Council work, and if they decide for some reason to bestow some sort of royal authority to some random person, actually has royal authority.
Yeah, I'm just weirded out by the fact that they'd pick a random person.
Yeah. To you, this person is totally randomly picked.
Yeah, Wiglov mostly just wants to keep his newfound abilities to himself, unless of course someone wants to prime or anything. But
does he have the necklace on?
I was about to say, both of you actually roll perception checks.
Oh.
Do we then? Or
yeah.
Sure. Sorry.
Wiglaf, are you saying that you don't have something on you? Or do
I have it. I just have it with my equipment, so it's in my backpack.
I know. You
unless I have
100% have it around your neck.
Oh, in that case, never mind. It's on my neck.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on my neck.
And you're so new to this thing, you didn't hide it.
Yeah.
They wanted a perception check?
Yeah, do you notice it? Or do you not notice it? This is the perception check.
Ooh, 26.
Are you sure you don't want a int check?
No.
Oh, but I get it.
We both noticed the strange symbol hanging around his neck.
I point at it and I'm like, what's that?
Oh, this thing? It's just a little trinket I got from Just some nice disembodied voices. We don't have to talk about it too much.
Sorry, disembodied voices?
Oh yeah, those things they come around here all the time. Yeah. Well, one minute you're sleeping, the next minute you wake up. There's crazy undead birds and these things show up in your hands, and it's you get caught up by the royal council for some big job, and you're totally confused, little dwarf, scared out of your mind. What the hell is going on? Here I am. At least I got to meet my good. So.
Ah,
Trying to put the attention back on the.
sorry, your mic is cutting out. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Testing.
Yep, works.
Testing. Okay. Yeah. How much cut out?
I'm not sure. At some point, it was just kind of unclear.
Oh. So my items, I got the little trinkets I gotten from some sort of disembodied voice in a dream. I showed up at my bed and I was rushed off to the Royal Council meeting, and I got the contract, signed it with an amazing signature, by the way. And I came down here to this place and met up with this. I got to see the Goblin Slayer and you and this nice gnome person, whoever their name is.
You look back again on the paper that you still have in your hand, by the way. The nice signature, it's probably supposed to be an X, but it's a very, very bad written X with one vertical line and one intersecting line at a 30-degree angle.
Do I notice that it's the same shape as the necklace?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. I'd probably make the link, like, this is probably why he has the author, or this is somehow related, but I don't want to pry too much in, like, right now, so I just, okay.
You might actually have heard about this. I mean, the Merchant Guild is probably kind of interested in Hantana Island, since some of their rights have been restricted by what's going on there. You give me like a let me just roll something. How does a d20 land on its side? Huh? 19. Yeah, you have heard about this appearing of said to be appearing of divine powers and some crazy shit going on. There has been like talk in the guilds, and somehow this has reached your ears.
Alright, well, I consider him, I give him a little bit more authority, like, it kind of makes sense, but I still probably don't pry. I'll probably write a letter to my master about this later this evening.
Yeah, you probably make the quick calculation that this is one of those elusive priests that might have appeared on this world, and leave it at that. The guy, maybe he is crazy, who knows? But maybe all of those three people around you are crazy. You are the one sane person. And
I feel like if the crown has given this guy authority, I give it a bit more credibility.
The elf, though. Yeah.
Reuven the elf is just face palming. He's like, God, this dwarf leader is also insane.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So we have a good start here. This is a group of 4 people. Everybody thinks the other ones are insane, except for the gnome, who is just excited to be here, apparently. He basically signed up out of his own accord. Like, nobody asked him, he just said, I want to be with you, and the dwarf, being the great leader that he is, saw the opportunity and took it.
Picking out of a pig, he's like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There you go.
Do you continue standing around in the middle of the Royal Council meeting hall next to this clerk who is trying to do his job, or
Yeah,
there's more people waiting, so...
Reuven would not.
Oh, are they
Okay.
waiting for like other business?
Again, please?
Are they waiting for other business? I thought that everyone in this area was like signing up for the same job.
Yeah, they are, but you are standing in the way.
Oh well, yeah, I moved.
Yeah, Wiglov is going to move. He's going to try and get the contract back from the human. Are you holding it further toward your chest or further toward your like down?
I'm probably holding it at like hip height, and then as I notice him trying to like reach upward, I'm like, oh okay, and then I lower the note to him.
Thank you. And then I stuff it back in my backpack.
The elf only moves when all of you have already moved. It's like, yeah. Okay. So what are we? This a freak show? Suicide Squad? What? Like, are we? What are we have? A dwarf and a gnome?
I admit it's kind of odd, but there's a great amount of opportunity here, which shouldn't be discounted.
The gnome speaks up and says, I assume we are one of the chosen electives of the Royal Crown, going on this adventure, trying to take care of business and making sure that not more people die than have to already. Yeah.
That's
Better be
fair.
get this important work, my friends.
I looked at the dwarf. Oh, can you commission the queen, or some of her high-ranking people to provide me with a couple more spell books? Just empty pages.
Wow. I don't know. Each go.
And wait, is anyone else having problems hearing broken?
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Should be. How about now? Is everything good?
I think so.
Okay.
All of your tests sound fine.
So weird.
Yeah.
I'll just be careful with the voice then. Yeah, so I guess we'll be heading off. Wherever you're going.
The elf mumbles something about this being just the human way, humans' scheme to gather all the weirdos, so they don't have to deal with them.
I could see maybe how you'd think that, but my friend, I don't think they'd lump me with you guys unless.
Well, how would we know? Maybe you're just as much a weirdo as we are.
I can assure you that I'm not.
That's kind of what a weirdo would say. But okay.
Feel stumped.
This elf, he has quite the manners, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely not really used to human interaction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very much.
Back to the dwarf again. Are we? Do we have like some sort of timeline that we have to follow?
Oh, if that's what the contract said, then I don't really know if we exactly have other things we could do. What were you wanting to do?
What time is it now?
Something early afternoon.
Early afternoon. I think it's a bit late to do anything crazy. But this odd circumstance, I'd recommend a celebratory drink.
Oh, yeah.
Though I heard that you already got your fair share.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can always take the group over to one of the local taverns, and I'll buy you all around. Sound good?
Oh, are you from here?
Oh, yes, of course. My parents refugeed from the mountains up north, and they came down here to Barrios.
I'd love to see some of the local taverns. I rushed straight to this royal house. When I entered the city, I didn't really have any time to look around.
Oh yeah, all right, let's go, gang. And then Wiglov just yanks his contract and just starts heading out the door.
Just yank us with you.
Yep. I'm
Okay.
trying to grab the, trying to like hang onto the human pants, kind of pulling the human pants and yanking along the gnome.
Okay. The elf will reluctantly come with you guys, I guess.
I'm happily walking along. I want
Yeah.
to see the city a bit before I leave.
Yeah. So, Usma, tough.
Yes.
You are like the local good boy of your community in Terrega.
Yep.
There's this elf. He is very not really rude, but he gives off this vibe of not really knowing how to interact with normal people.
Yeah.
Also, he's smelly and seems like he doesn't really know how to take care of himself.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
Oh, yeah.
compelled to help him?
So Osmar is kind of he's kind of a messy person himself, so he's not too turned off by like the weird smells or like the stains. Um, his mannerisms are kind of awkward, but I think Osmar kind of enjoys like a character. It's fun to have that. Like it would get. He's thinking about this as like a long-term mission, and he wouldn't want to get bored on the road. So he's actually pretty pleased with the fact that the elf is acting so like ravishly.
Okay. All right.
Also-
So
The dwarf feels kind of weird though. He's just I don't know. It's something about him.
yeah.
He's just all over the place, not really
Yeah.
making sense, but still he has like this crazy authority and might be like a cleric maybe, but that's probably not true. But yeah, he's just a mystery box right now.
Yeah. He is way too much to take in 3 seconds, and
Yeah,
yeah.
Osmar's kind of used to like when he has a problem that he doesn't understand, like he'll have time to sit down and like
Yeah.
study and stuff. This is the first time that he's given like um a situation he doesn't fully understand, and he doesn't have the time to just sit down and like read it.
You
This is
know,
just-
somehow this situation kind of reminds you of one of those times where one of the local guards came into the temple. He was wounded and he was just talking and talking and talking about what just happened to him and his group. They have gotten ambushed and some of them died, and he was just completely, he seems like he had lost his mind because his life has changed so drastically, so quickly.
Yeah, so I guess I assume that he probably had some sort of like drastic life-changing experience as well,
Yeah.
which he kind of alluded to with the weird
Yeah.
obsidian stick thing, the weird necklace thing, and weird visions and stuff, disembodied voices.
Yeah, this is very strange. Yeah. Anyways, so the group heads out of the Royal Council meeting hall and into the town proper. Wiglov, you always want to tell people that you are from Barrios, but you are just stationed there. You come from Camp Widowitz as well, it's where you grew up. You know, like, your part of the town, like where your temple is, where your barracks are. You know some of the soldier taverns. Where do you take this group?
probably the one where all of his soldier buddies probably go. You know, like people that he works with, people that he, probably takes care of. It's probably the one that he goes to help converse with the people that he's either helped along, like maybe their family members are there, yeah, that sort of thing.
Okay, so you take them to your standard tavern, which is
Yeah.
quite a walk away, going to some less shiny part of the town.
Yeah. He's definitely not a high roller.
Yeah, you're passing by a lot of very fancy looking establishments.
I eye at them in awe as we
Yeah.
walk past them.
Yeah, it's like, oh.
Yeah. The dwarf keeps going like, Usma sees this nice a tavern. It's called like the Honey Pot or something, and it really looks nice. And the dwarf just keeps going, and you leave the honey pot behind, and it's
Don't
nice
worry, everybody, you're
view
gonna
on.
love it.
Yeah, and
You'll
then
love this
you
place.
head into the more industrial part of the town, and you pass by what is obviously a barracks. There's the big sigil of the Milsec Guild on it, so this is the military barracks, and somewhere down the line there is the empty keg. And that's where Wiglov is taking you.
Look at this beautiful place.
They could probably take a lesson in marketing. It's not a good name for a tavern. Why would you want to advertise your kegs as empty?
Oh, this is the place I go to with my buddies in the unit, and also maybe meeting up with a few people I've saved from the infirmary.
Sure.
As we were walking here, Reuven was definitely very uncomfortable at the first half, but now coming into this like more slummy or like more not fancy area, he looks much more relieved. He's like, "Ooh, okay, this is better." Also, as we were like more talking and like talking and walking, Reuven's like previous voice is very obviously just the rough voice is very obviously just something he does with people he doesn't know. So midway through the conversations, his voice just keeps going higher and higher, and starts getting maybe not less for him. For he thinks it's less cool, but it's just not a very macho or manly voice. But yeah, it seems he got more comfortable with you guys pretty quickly, actually.
So you head into the empty keg. You find a table where you can sit. The local serving girl, cool. Well, it's very local and it's very serving, so don't really know if you can say girl to her. Comes up and says hey to Wiglov, and says the usual, and looks at the group that is around you.
Oh yeah.
And for
What do any of you want?
Do you guys have any crumpets?
Trumpets?
Yeah, they're like
Things you blow into and they make noise? Yeah, I know what a trumpet is, but why would you need a trumpet?
No, it's like a small, not a pastry, but something that you'd bake. You put like some honey over it. It's like a kind of like a poked. You have kind of like a waffle bread somewhere in between.
No. We have stew.
No. Do you have any pastries?
Bread. and stew.
I look at the dwarf.
Wiglov's he's like rubbing his belly. He's happy to get some bread and stew. He's like, yeah.
Is a stew.
Well, Usma, this is the right point for you to decide on your grub skill, or if you want to roll it. You have been cooking for yourself the whole time. You
Yeah,
pride
I
yourself
feel
a
like-
bit on cooking, right?
Yeah, but I feel like I've generated quite the palette, or quite the sophisticated palette. I feel like I have a low grub score, but I want to roll for it.
You
Can I do
roll
40, can I do 40, 46,
46,
keep the low at 4?
yeah, 46
Low
DH1, I think.
4d6 DH1. Nice, I have a grub score of 6.
Yeah. You have quite a palette. This establishment does not really look like it will live up to your expectations, but who knows? Maybe stew and bread is just perfect.
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay, stew and bread for every one of you?
Uh,
Sounds
Ruben
good.
speaks up and like starts
She already
mentioning
turned
things.
around and is walking back to the kitchen.
Ruben will shout for her. Hey. Hey.
That's quite loud in the tavern. You would really have to scream to get her attention.
Uh-oh.
My elven friend, it really seems that they don't have much of a menu here. I kind of eye the dwarf, annoyed, give him a furrowed brow. But
Yeah.
he says that it's good, so we should give it a try.
Some time goes by,
Fine.
then she returns and puts 4 kegs of ale in front of you and turns it back around and walks away again.
I smell it. And what is this? Is this human wine?
Fine.
The
What
microphone
is-
swapped again.
Huh.
Maybe just rejoin the call. Rejoin the room. Maybe it's on Discord side.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I could hear Wiglov as well.
Okay.
But okay, Ruben like smells this beer and he's like, "What is this? This dwarven wine?" It's like, what the hell is this?
Oh no. This is
Who is it?
ale. Much stronger.
Ale. Aha.
Yeah.
You have heard about this ale thing.
He downs it.
The people in the town that you have been affiliated with, they have been drinking ale as well. So you never
Yeah,
consciously never decided to drink it, but
exactly. It's like weird human slur made from some weird crops. But seeing like the rest of you drink it,
Oh yeah, Wiglov. He just downs his.
I'm probably the last one to drink it. Actually, no, wait. You should. Well, you roll your grub score first.
I think I had an 18, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, but the elf
Oh yeah. Oh.
Reuben.
I'm rolling a 10.
a
Okay.
10. Yeah.
I think it's a mixture of both growing up in the Elven lands, but also he's a fucking ranger. He eats like raw meat like every 3 days, you know.
So you taste
his
it?
palate has now,
Okay.
like smoothed out, and he like, okay. Seeing Wiglov drink it so heartily,
Yeah.
he's like, it can't be that bad, right?
So give me a grub skill check with a -3 penalty.
This, ooh, super bad. 13.
disgusting brew that the dwarf is drinking. You try and it's just
I
bitter
immediately
and
spit back into it. Yeah, but this is like this is the, bread washer that's gone bad. You.
Ah.
This tastes nothing like the fine wines of Sasuza and Fatuza. Starts naming elven
Yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah. Wiglov, he's got a smile on his face. He's like, it's not for everybody, but it'll do.
it's an acquired taste.
I give
Yeah,
my tankard a smell out of curiosity, knowing that it's gonna smell bad. But when something smells bad, you still kind of want to smell it, and then I just push it away.
I mean, you drank ale before, so
Yeah, but I saw. Well, okay. I saw the elf react pretty poorly, so I feel like.
yeah, but it's an elf, so who knows?
Okay, fine. I try to drink it.
Yeah, you drink it. It tastes like normal ale to you.
Oh. Okay.
So
Well,
if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's
do I roll a grub score?
nah. You drank ale before, right?
Yeah, probably at some point, right?
Yeah, like Tariga is a big town, but it's still that part of the world, where
Yeah,
once you turn 12, you have to be drunk the first time. So,
sure.
yeah. You
I'll
mustn't
drink
really
a
like
bit
it,
of
but you know how it tastes and you can
Yeah.
accept the taste.
Yeah, as a part of my studies to alter the state of my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There comes the stew and the bread. She just puts 4 bowls on the table, including the same size bowl for the gnome, who is obviously only needing like a quarter of this, but they only have one size and one size for everybody. So there's stew for you. You can fork over like Wiglov has said he pays for everything, so
yeah.
at the end of the day, just like remove. Let's see how long you stay and what happens. So, yeah, delicious stew.
Is it actually good stew? Like, have they watered it down, or is it how good are the meats? Like, is it have they used
Well, the
like
person who could probably tell you this is the mage with the pellet who's sitting next to you.
Yes, definitely.
So, dear Usma, give us a rundown of the stew.
Oh boy.
So a good stew would probably be like seasoned appropriately to the time of the year, season to the season. It should have potatoes that are cut properly. The sizes need not to be exactly the same, but the sizes of like the potato pieces and the meat pieces should be like roughly equal. There needs to be enough of the flavoring in the broth in the water, such that when you dip your bread into it, it like attaches on it, so that you don't need like butter or anything else. This is the kind of stew that I want.
Yeah. So, let's roll it. How good is the stew?
Huh?
1d20 plus, what was it, 6?
6, yeah.
Yeah, not too good. It's, I mean, you can eat it, but it's not too good. I kind of look displeased, but I don't want to be rude.
It's edible.
Yeah.
The dwarf really enjoys it. This is the same stew he has been eating for the last 3 months, probably.
Yeah, I'm just slurping it all down, getting in my beard, and getting the ale in my beard and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of messy.
The gnome across the table, he also is not too excited about the stew, but he just dips the bread and eats bread, and yeah.
Wiglov, he then turns and looks to Usmar, and he kind of wipes his face with his arm and hand. So, you know magic then, huh? Where did you learn that from?
I had this wonderful. Well, I'd call him a father, who taught me for my entire age, truthfully. There's nothing as wondrous as transmutation magic specifically, since there are already a lot of objects in the world. I don't understand why other wizards feel the need to create new objects or to conjure flames or to affect others' minds. It just feels immoral or ineffective. Really, like, altering the state of already existing things is it's the most beautiful form of magic.
Wiglov is nodding along. He is paying attention because he's probably not met too many magic users.
Yeah, there's some in the military, but most of them are the type of magic users who go fireball, sleep. So.
Yeah. Counterspell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fascinating story.
Yeah, it would be a shame to work in the military as a mage. There's so many other spells that do so much stuff other than just, blasting opponents. You can run fast, you can fall slow, you can climb as a spider would. There are so many options available to a wizard, especially one like me who specializes in such a wonderful school of thought.
This will team.
Sorry?
It sounds like you're going to be very useful for the team.
Yeah, I'd hope so. I look at the gnome, knowing that he's also a wizard, but I kind of sense that he's a caster of like a less cool school.
Less
Yeah,
cool
wizard.
School. Well, he kind of furrows his brow at your beautiful description of transmutation magic and says, well, I do agree on the more interesting parts of magic, yes. I too would not prefer to be the type of explosion wizard that most of the military guys are. He doesn't really answer the question that is in the room right now.
Yeah.
I
And then,
remind everyone, I hope you're all aware that for most wizards, half of their spellbook is filled with transmutation magic. Even if they were to disagree with, even if they were to verbally disagree with my statements, their actions would still align.
Fascinating. Yeah. And then Wiglov goes back to, slurping up his slop and drinking, the alcohol.
Well, the tavern is kind of loud, so you have to talk kind of loud on the table, and as you do so, Osma, from behind you, you hear a voice. So you think that us military wizards
Oh no.
are not as good as you, huh? I
I
bet
make
you
no
would never
more-
beat me in a arm wrestling competition, though. You wimp.
I feel like I probably would, but I don't make any moral claims of superiority. I'm simply saying that, for those of us who are interested in unveiling the secrets and the truths of the universe, it is more prosperous to study the field of transmutation.
You! Stop using all these fancy words. And come here, put your money where your mouth is. I bet you 2 gold pieces that you cannot beat me in an arm wrestling competition.
Sorry, go ahead.
I kind of eye the dwarf and I eye the elf and I eye this guy. Oh, yeah. I mean, are you sure?
Wiglov is like, you got it. Usmar, you can get him, take him on.
No,
And
I look
Wiglov
at
gives him 2
I
gold.
look at I look at the guy challenging me and I ask him if he's sure.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Don't think your fancy words will help you on this table.
Yeah, did you say that you gave me 2 gold or am I putting my own?
Wiglov put down 2 gold for to the deal for Usmar.
Sure.
Or on Usmar.
I put my arm in an arm wrestling position and I'm prepared to tear this guy down.
Okay, let's roll
Oh boy.
post strength checks.
Does he already have a strength score?
I just rolled it, yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. This guy, though, he has the experience. He has done this hundreds of times. He knows what he's doing.
Give me a countdown for the roll and I'll roll.
Okay.
I want to do it at the same time.
I hope my roll works. 3, 2, 1, go.
He got crushed.
Wow.
Well, that's one type of
crushed
fight.
his- Yeah, I crush his I crush his hand into the table, and
You don't. So
wait, what?
you failed your check as well.
Oh,
you are just sitting there and you are like trying to push him down, and he is obviously losing, but he does not give up, and with his superior technique he manages to keep his hand from the table for like
no.
30 seconds or something, and this is, I don't know, he keeps on struggling. He obviously has lost, but he keeps on struggling, and you don't manage to finish the deal.
Oh.
He says, "You don't have it in you. I will win at the end."
I don't think I answer. I think I'm just focused on the arm wrestling. I'm a pretty goal-oriented person. I'm just arm wrestling.
Okay.
I'm not answering.
Roll again. 3, 2, 1.
Wait, I'm not ready. Oh my! I need a 20 again, right?
Oh my
Right.
god!
You need to.
Does he get any advantage because he
No.
won slightly the last time?
Oh, he rolled a 1. This is just.
Yeah.
Oh. So you keep struggling for 1 minute, and you notice how your arm starts giving up, like your shoulder starts to hurt. You have never done this. This movement is so uncomfortable, and slowly he starts moving your arm back up, cursing whoever is in the room as well, and manages to push you to the other side, and ever so slowly until like your arm is in this uncomfortable position where you lose strength and you just plop your hand on the table, and he shouts, "I told you! You wimpy merchant boys! You could never live up to a true wizard from the military."
I
And
smile
he
at
grabs the money.
him. I smile at him. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that proves your wizarding ability, but you're good at arm wrestling, sir.
Yes. And now, shut your mouth and stop talking about superiority.
I smile at him widely. I'm like, yeah, amen, brother.
Yes.
Wiglov P pats you on the back bit. He's like, don't worry about it. He's smart. You can get him next time.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And the outraged military wizard turns his back to you.
Sorry?
The outraged
Okay.
military wizard
Okay.
turns his back to you and goes
Yeah.
back to his drink.
I
Number
feel like I won
6,
I feel like
probably.
I feel pretty happy. I feel like I won the mental war. I'm like, 2 gold for a bit of fun. I think that's a fair deal.
Yeah, as long as none of us got hurt, that's what matters.
Yep. Wasn't even my gold. I smile at the dwarf.
Actually, your shoulder kind of hurts. But you try not to show it, I assume.
Yeah.
Uzma,
I don't think I'd mind showing it. I'm not gonna like spend too much effort like hiding it, but it's not. I'm comfortable with defeat.
hey Uzma, I'm pretty sure you have the highest score strength in the party.
Yeah, I was carrying a lot of stuff.
Fucking wizard.
I spend my early days carrying a lot of books. I spent my early days carrying a lot of crates. You know, I was just a man in the town who's always asked to do shit.
Okay.
You know, I'm a wizard and a warrior
Wow.
in heart,
Holy. That is
not
true.
mechanically.
Reuven is very much confused on what has happened here. He
Yeah.
like asks like Wiglov like what is this? Is this a con? What are they doing? Are they what does that mean? As he like
Oh,
slides down to Wiglov.
well, it's just a show of pride for the military here in the town. You know,
Human ritual.
you could say that, sure.
They do
Are,
feel. Sorry.
are they like birds in the forest competing against each other to see who gets the mate? Are they like deer in the forests competing against their strength to who see who gets the girl deer? Is this what's happening? Is this the ritual? It's happening?
I guess you could say it like that. You know, sometimes we do it for mates, other times we do it for ourselves. Sort of a competition.
So they are fighting for a mate.
Ah,
Weird human rituals. Well,
I think we were fighting for 2 gold, Mister Reuben.
yeah.
as you come back, like frown at you. Very strange ritual.
Mm.
I've never seen any of the forest creatures do something like that. You are weird. Humans are so weird.
Hmm. It might take some adjusting for you, but my understanding is that soon enough we'll be out of the town.
Yes, that is much better.
Speaking
Hey,
of which, you are still in the town and you probably have to sleep somewhere.
I don't want to sleep in this. Is this like a tavern? Work as inns as well, or are those like separate things?
It's called the Empty Keg, so who knows?
Yeah, well, anyhow, I don't want to sleep here. I guess I looked at my party. It's getting late. We should probably try to find an area to rest. Do you have like a home? I looked at the dwarf.
Oh, yeah. Would I be allowed to bring my friends to my home?
You're in the military, you're sleeping in the barracks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nah.
I don't think they're allowed to do that. So I'm gonna tell them like, how much? Wait, how much gold would it be for one of the other places, like an inn or something? I can just give them the gold to stay there, or unless they have their own gold.
Depends, like one of the bed and breakfasts around here somewhere, a few silver if you want some more fancy, like the honey pot or so. A gold piece for a night.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just hand them both a gold piece. Be like, here, you guys can go take your own places to sleep. I gotta go back to the barracks.
I look at the coin. I'm like, wait, are you wealthy? Why are we eating here? Why didn't we go drink at the honey pot?
No, I just prefer this bar. This is the place where I have most of my memories from.
Osmar's jaw drops. All right.
Yep, he hands you both a gold coin, and he just saunters off. Tapping his way to the barracks.
Reuben looks at this gold coin in his hand. He's like, "Why did you give me money, human money, for shelter? Why did he do that?"
Because shelters require money. They wouldn't let
What?
you.
I know it doesn't. And he like taps his sleeping bag on his shoulder.
No, but
I
we're
will go outside and
now
sleep.
that we're in town, we have the opportunity to sleep at a nicer place, somewhere where we don't have to worry about the wilderness hunting us down in the middle of the night.
He kind of like frowns at this sentence.
You know,
We
Ruben,
have,
this
like-
probably means no stars in the sky at night.
Oh.
This probably refers to this crazy notion of insight.
You roofs, you. So you are saying you pay monies, pay the monies you get, pay
Mhm.
your what you your money, and you give it to someone so you could sleep with a roof. You could sleep in a place like this.
Oh, well, not like this. We got an entire gold coin so that we could sleep in a different kind of a settlement. No, not like a place like this. A very different place. And I kind of like point towards the door, like, hey, we can go look. You should not see the place before you make any crazy assumptions. I would also not like to sleep here. I agree with you.
Okay, but I will also need to go and clean my robes, my clothes. That is the word. Yes.
Wait, I know this. Is it like standard practice for a tavern? I mean, for inns to have like cleaning rooms in them, like bathrooms?
That very much depends. Like in a place like the one you are right now, if they,
I'd
if it
assume
were
that
possible, yeah, if it were possible to sleep here, they would probably have like a big barrel of water somewhere where you can
Yeah, I
throw
assume
water on
that's.
yourself, and with a
assume
nicer
that's-
place, there would probably be some more eccentric way of doing this.
Yeah, like yeah, you'll be able to wash yourself at the honeycomb.
I would wash there, but do they have a small lake there? I think I saw a river in this city as we were coming in.
No, you wouldn't want to wash in a river. Uh, I feel like the water there's no. Is the water the same? Is there no like water purification? The water's the same, isn't it?
They probably would boil it or something, like in
Oh,
a fancy
yeah.
place.
Oh yeah, but you'd be cleaning yourself a bit, but I wouldn't call you clean after that. Just come, let's just head to the honeycomb. You'll see for yourself.
Reuben frowns at this human, but follows.
Okay. So, slightly weirded out by this concept of sleeping indoors with no sky, but anyways, so you follow Usma to the honey pot and arrive there. Like the person at the door looks at you strangely, but then again, that's one of the few elves that roam the country. Having him in the honey pot might be a good idea. So he kind of questionably looks at you And
Don't worry, we're paying customers.
does the elf need to be accommodated right away?
Yeah, he'd need to be washed.
Okay,
I
very well.
presume you have a washing room here?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he has kind of a stench on him.
Yeah.
You probably noticed.
And the person knocks at the door, and somebody from inside comes up, and he says something to the person, and he motions to Reuven to follow, and you can go inside. And Reuven gets led to the bathroom area and can try to wash himself. You probably know how to do this.
Yes, but like the concept of like hot water that isn't from like a hot spring, but is like manually made a fire for, is super weird for him.
Yeah. So you
But
wash
the
up,
moment he
and maybe do you have spare clothing?
do I didn't buy it.
Oh, then
I
you
don't have the
don't.
weight
So
to keep it actually. So I only have the clothes on my
yeah,
body.
you try to like brush them down or something.
Oh yeah, I fully use the bathing water to clean my clothes.
So they are completely wet.
Do they have
Absolutely.
like a... Sorry, maybe you guys... No, never mind. I'll keep quiet. Sorry.
All right. Reuven cleans himself and has now wet clothes and comes back to the bar area where I assume you are sitting right now.
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
I actually probably want to wash my... Like, I traveled a couple of days. I probably need to wash myself as well.
Okay. Then you both wash up. Do you stop him from soaking his clothes? Or?
No. I
No,
think I
okay.
let him experience stuff.
Actually, I don't know what I'm experiencing here. I would do this in the wild as well, right? I
Yeah,
have to
that's
do this.
totally normal to you. You just go with your
Yeah.
clothes into the water and scrub yourself down.
Exactly. I clean my. I have to clean my clothes somehow.
Yeah,
It's
this
just,
is
they
completely
make it
normal. The only strange thing is that the water is warm. That's this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Also, there's some
And there's fruit.
herbs around that smell nice and things like this. But yeah. So, you head back to the tavern. One of you is probably a bit too wet to sit somewhere, and the other one not. So
Actually, as I see him wash his clothes, I probably do the same thing. I take off my robe, but I think I wash my like under things because I thought that was smart. So I just do it.
yeah,
I'm
as
not
you
too accustomed to.
step back into the common room with your wet clothes, like one of the servants runs up to you and says, "Do you need some spare clothing?"
I have my robe.
So you have your robe on and your wet clothes.
My robe. No, I'm carrying my wet clothes and my robe is dry and I have that on.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
naked underneath.
Yeah. So the person offers the wet elven person some a bathrobe.
Reuben
nice
instantly
bathrobe.
goes back to his elven bravado of why would I need other clothes? Do I need to buy new clothes from you?
This is part of our service. You just can hang your clothes to dry and wear this for now, please.
He like intensely stares at this person, and like for like a good 20 seconds.
Come on.
And then like, and when Osmar says, "Come on, okay," he nods. Very well. Give me these clothes.
She hands you a bathrobe and you can put this on, and there's like a place where you can hang your clothes and to dry for them, like a very well planned out system. So people can get comfortable and still enjoy sitting around the lounge. Versus the Honeypot is like one of the fine establishments. Just put it like this.
Even with my just like I'm assuming the white bathrobe on, he still has his fully equipped dual swords and bow on his back.
Yeah,
But just with
a
white
very
robe.
strange person, but you're getting away with it. And as you are sitting in the common room, you see that slowly but surely there are more people coming in. And a short while after this, the first person approaches you and tries to chat you up about the Elven lands and how you are enjoying your stay with humans.
Who is this that's coming up to me?
A random person.
Okay. I frown
It's a
at them.
woman, well dressed.
I am good. And that's all he says. And then he just stares. He does the full, like, back straight, this just clean silver elven hair, puffed up, looking very, just like coming from a spa, but still doing his best to give out that, like, sort of pretentious air. Just looking at him.
Well, like the first person who came up to you quickly notices that you are not interested in talking with her about these things and leaves you be. But shortly after, the next person comes, and this seems to be the trend for the evening. If you stay in this room, that's
Reuven quickly, Osmar can tell, Reuven quickly gets annoyed with this.
do you
And
save
it's
him,
kind of-
Usma?
I feel like I'm probably not there. After the bath, I retired to like my sleeping room really fast.
Ah, okay.
Want some
Okay.
alone
So
time.
after, do you want to say something, Osmar? Go.
No, I'm done.
All right, cool. So after a couple of these things, and Reuven finally realizes that this is for some reason happening, kind of like frowns, takes a look at this area, and then stands up and starts. He probably takes his stuff with him to his room, and takes his wet clothes and goes to his. Goes to like the bar and. Where do I sleep?
One of
I
the
was promised
servants
sleeping.
shows you to your room.
Okay.
In the room, there's like a nice bed, a table, a chair, a place where you can store your goods for now, a small chest. Do you sleep on the bed or do you sleep on the ground on your sleeping mat?
I actually, sleeping mat. What is that made out of? Like
Probably
leather,
just leather and maybe some like sheepskin or something like this.
Maybe I took the advantage to clean that as well because I probably hadn't cleaned that for months.
Probably good. Yeah.
So and now I just like take the mattress or whatever that's on the bed and put it on the ground and use that as a temporary sleeping mat.
Okay. So you sleep on the ground on a mattress. Osma, you're enjoying your room?
Yeah, I'm probably doing like some. Now that I have some time for myself, I'm looking at my book and I'm practicing some of the articulations, like the finger gestures of my spells.
Also, you wanted to write a letter?
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I probably at the evening after I've like chilled out in my room for a bit, and I'm like, all right, it's time to go to sleep. I remember the letter writing idea. I'm like, okay, before I go to sleep, I'll go write up one letter. I leave the tavern. I give a quick wave to the innkeep, saying that I'll be back soon, and I head out to like a postal office or something.
Oh, everything's closed by now.
Oh, then kind of disappointed. I just turn back. I guess I'll write the letter tomorrow. and I go to my bed and sleep.
Alright. So everybody's sleeping. The gnome is also in the honeypot as well. He's sleeping as well. And Wiglov is back at the barracks. Wiglov, are you afraid to sleep?
I'm probably a little bit apprehensive about it first, but I'm just kind of like sitting up in my bed, or sitting up in my bed, kind of like twirling the weird symbols around, kind of shuffling them a bit and thinking. Probably like laying awake, keep my little candle on for a bit, and it's probably like late in the hours of the night. They're probably doing their own thing over at the honeypot, and I'm just just wide-eyed, just kind of thinking, just mostly to myself, like, what is going on with me? I'm just a dwarf. I shouldn't know this like magic.
Yeah, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
And as you like rolling around in your bed, like you after some while manage to fall asleep. You have some strange dreams about faceless owls, dying people,
Great.
but nothing like this liquid dream you had the night before, where you actually had some sort of control over what was happening. There's this voice that keeps coming up in your dream. Make them believe again. This seems to be like this sentence got stuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we arrive at the next day. You are in the barracks, so you get kicked out at 6 sharp. So
yeah. I'm gonna head over to the bucket, or the honey pot.
yeah. Ranger man is probably awake as well. It's light outside, so you're up.
Yeah.
Ruben probably had a terrible night's sleep. Absolutely awful.
Yeah. And
was the 1 gold enough to pay our things?
it was enough to pay for the night and breakfast, yeah. It's getting worse. It's even breakfast, okay? And it's like strange food. Not raw meat, not berries, like actual crumpets and tea, or coffee, and the fuck is this?
What is coffee?
Yeah. The tea is nice though. So,
sorry.
yeah. I assume Usma is sleeping in a bit.
Sorry, I'm here now.
Okay. Next morning you are sleeping in, or do you wake up with the first light as well?
I'm probably a bit tired. I traveled. I met these weird people. I probably slept for quite a while, but I'll get to doing the letter when I wake up.
Yeah. So, you wake up like an hour later than the other ones. They are already having breakfast. Your second mage companion also is a bit later, so he comes down shortly after you. You have breakfast and you can write your letter and send it out. And then it's kind of time to decide what to do from here. You are gathered in the common room of the honeypot. There's no unlockers for now, so nobody's bothering the elf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the elf is looking around very paranoid.
Yeah.
Just keeping an eye out, just like he would be in a forest.
Yeah.
Or out in the wild, just like making sure he can't be surrounded. And it's like, yeah, slightly nervous.
Yeah. So you have gotten this strange task to get information about what's going on in the east. Wiglov, you have been at the gate. You have probably fought some of the insectoids. There are the things that you have seen, these strange Ant-Man creatures. who wield spears out of some fungus or something. You don't really know. You have only heard what it is. And some of them can fly as well. And there are these huge beetles who try sometimes to crash the gate, but the gate is too heavy for them, but they still do it anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give that description to the party. You know, just tell them about these insects. Maybe
Yeah.
they are the things that we have to go after.
So
I'm not too keen on losing my life just yet. How far have you gotten to the gate? Have you visited the gate itself?
Oh, well, I've been on patrol out of the gate and fought a few of these little insect creatures, and they're just, just what my ma and pa told me back before they came over to the city.
Since this is foreign to all of us, I believe we were requested to gather further information from beyond the gate, I believe. Did we... again, I'm not sure if this is possible. I don't know the royal structure here. But do you think we could... Since you said that you patrolled there earlier, could we, like, join one of your army patrols, at least to the point of traveling there? Maybe to give us, those of us who haven't visited, some intuition on what to expect?
Yes, the human mage is correct. I have experience and I've been taught how to explore new regions of land, forests. Whenever you're dealing with new and broken in places, caution and patience and safety are always what you must think of first. You might not know the location of the animals in the new areas. You might not know the traveling grounds of dangerous beasts. You might not know the dangerous places where poison dwells or dangerous natural habitats are. Everything must be taken into account, and it must be very, very slowly taken. You must first experience the land and get to know it before you can truly explore it.
Well, the elf seems to be correct, so maybe it wouldn't hurt getting a few escorts to go with us.
I'd rather say that, instead of having escorts join us, we could join, like, the usual patrol.
Yeah, maybe I could ask my commander.
And then we could maybe like fork off at some point.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys have like a fortification on the way, or are we gonna have to come all the way back to town every time we want to restock?
I know that.
There are some fishing villages who like fish in the lake along this way. But in terms of cities, there's nothing, no.
Well, we could probably go like buy rations from that.
Yeah, also
like,
the two towers that are on the map up there, this is military base.
Oh,
There is
so there's consistent.
Yeah, there's consistent travel along this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wiglov would notice like every week there is a exchange. Like the groups are stationed for 1 month at the outposts up there, and every week there is one exchange going on. So once a week there's a group of soldiers traveling north and one group of soldiers traveling south.
Yeah, we could probably notify the queen one of her advisors, um, for these patrols to start bringing extra rations with them for us.
Hmm.
Since we
I
were
can-
sent on this quite dangerous task, I feel like we're entitled to it.
Yeah, makes sense to me. So, yep, Wiglov is going to probably head up out of the honeypot and go to his to the barracks, see if he can speak to his commanding officer, see if they could go with one of the patrols that lead up to the northern part of the gates and stuff.
You head back into the barracks and you knock at the office door, and there is your commander. He's like the manliest man you know. Great guy. He looks at you and he says, "Huh. Looks like somebody has gotten a what word?
Promotion?
Promotion. Yeah. Good for
Yeah.
you."
Yeah, Wiglov, he stands to attention. He gives him a salute. He's like, Commander, we were wondering, myself and the group and I, we need to get maybe up to the northern gate. We needed to have help with them. I was asked to maybe ask one of you for like a unit we could go patrol with that lead up there. Maybe keep the group a bit safer on the road.
Well, of course, just take the weekly train. I mean, you're one of us still, I assume? Or are you planning on leaving us behind now that you have been in royal service all of a sudden?
Well, I can't really go against the Royal Council. I mean, my heart's always with the military, and this is where I got my standing with the humans.
Yeah.
But this is probably something bigger than any Royal Army can do. Maybe it could probably get down to a smaller group.
Yeah. Then try not to die. And the next caravan is leaving tomorrow. The day after tomorrow.
Okay, yes, sir, Commander. And he, stands to attention again, and then salutes, and then walks off back to the group. And he tells them about the caravan group that's going to be leaving the next morning.
Yeah.
They'll be head on.
Day after tomorrow.
Day after. Sorry. Yeah, day after.
Great. I guess we'll have to think of a way to spend 2 days. Do you have any family members you want to say goodbye to?
Yeah, I guess I could speak to my.
Your family is on the other side of the kingdom.
Right, of course, I knew that.
Nobody has any family members anywhere close.
Oh.
Reuven, you have come to the capital looking for a group of mighty adventurers to help you on your quest to slaughter more goblins,
True.
probably.
Very true. I think that as this conversation is going on, it's like, what do you want to do? Oh, my family isn't anywhere near. Reuven comes with this like sneaky smile that you've not seen on him before. It's like, hey guys, there's something we could always do that's can be quite profitable and quite good, very very good. There are many groups of goblins near this near this area.
Are there really goblins near the capital? I looked to the dwarf. Is your military unit really that weak?
Yes. Relative.
Yeah, yeah.
How far do you think how far out do you think these goblins are?
Well, I have just the ability for you. But I need to look at them. I have like fucking 10 abilities, okay?
I have just the ability to. Well,
Give me
proven
like.
I can give you like a shortcut. So, the main source of goblins that you have been fighting with come from this hilly forest region, like over there.
Okay.
That's way more than 2 days, though, right?
Yeah. And
Do I
then,
have any knowledge of that I've gathered beforehand for like mapping out the? Because I've probably tried to like map out the rough populations of goblins, but probably not gotten very far with it. But I've probably
yeah.
attempted to gain some information about them from the rest of the kingdom as well. But it's there's a chance there wasn't any nearby.
So you definitely know that they are around there. Um, um,
Maybe I can.
Not really at the big forest, the dark forest. This place, there's not really much goblin activity going on there. Um, uh, but well, actually, not really. Like around Tarega, like in these like lightly forested regions, there are sometimes hobgoblins.
Goblins or hobgoblins?
Hobgoblins.
Do I have the enemy for those as well? Are they? I think they're different.
I think goblins are goblins. Can take both.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter.
That's
Also,
cool.
in,
Okay.
in the hilly forest region, there's also hobgoblins. So.
I also probably try to argument or like get you guys even more like to go outside and to really do such dangerous things such as exploring unexplored territory is really very dangerous work, and
Yeah.
it would be much better if our group was more acquainted with each other, especially in combat. If we were, if we could practice and get better at fighting with each other, that would drastically increase our chances of winning.
Sure, I don't think I disagree with you. What is your suggestion?
Well, now that we have a few more people, maybe we could try to attack some sort of camp or
Goblin?
find a bigger uh, group of goblins than I've usually attacked. I usually only attack. This he says in a very, very low voice to make sure no one beside you guys hear. I actually only attack them when there's one, two, when when a patrol group branches off or separates from each other for whatever reason. I take him off.
This is completely expected by Osmar. You see no surprise in his face.
Mhm.
Um,
But he says it like it's some sort of enormous secret.
um, yeah. I asked the dwarf. Do you guys these patrols that you make towards the gate, are they often just? Do you encounter trouble?
Do
No.
you encounter trouble?
The road is
Nope.
pretty safe. Like, as you can see, they have tried to keep the forest back as well. So, or maybe the forest is just like this. It seems too perfect though, but so there's probably some intervention in keeping the forest away from the shoreline. Apart from crazy random things that happen all the time, but
At randomly, like a D100 table.
it's not like every patrol gets into some trouble on the way, but sometimes there's a group of creatures running around. Sometimes there's also some aquatic creatures if you're like making camp too close to the shoreline. Sometimes crazy things come from the water as well, but if you know what you're doing, you're getting from A to B pretty safe usually.
So the next caravan is leaving in a couple of days, but we could always just take the one after that, which would leave in a couple of days and then a week, or the one after that. So we're technically not on a time rush. If we truly want to go look out for some goblins, I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, if you're heading towards the south and cleaning some hobgoblins out of the Riga region, this would also be like your home country.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll take the caravan out to well, I guess we can't do that yet, but you know, Wiglov agrees with the group. You know, just going after hobgoblins or goblins or whatever.
Now that we've now that we've planned on engaging in combat together, would you mind sharing a little bit more details about these disembodied voices that you said you heard?
No, well, no, it's just my dreams keep coming back to me. They seem very surreal. Yeah, every night, just the dead bodies that show up, and the undead bird, and of course the voice always constantly banging in my head. You know, make them believe again. So I'm like, okay, I don't know who they are, but I have to prove something to someone or something.
And,
Does this?
sorry?
Sorry, you want to say that?
No, go ahead.
Reuven looks at the dwarves like, does this happen to dwarves often? Is this normal for your kind?
I've never known dwarves to ever use magic, but whatever these dreams are, I've been able to cast certain, I don't know, certain healing abilities.
My eyes go wide.
Didn't require tools or
Yeah,
tourniquets or anything.
that is insane. What he just said.
No healing. There doesn't exist like a wizard healing spell, right?
No. There don't even exist wizard healing potions.
Yeah, so would I know that this means that he's probably a cleric?
Yeah, we are smart enough.
Yeah. So you're a cleric then?
Oh, that must be what I am. Sounds very important.
A cleric? What is that?
I've heard of them in my books, though one has not been seen in a millennia. Can you tell me more about these dreams? Can you give me exact details? What exactly happened?
Well,
What was the who was it who was talking to you?
I have no idea. Something told me to just, make them believe, and must be speaking about the commoners or the military. I don't know. Could be just anyone. That he showed me this, and he points to it. He grabs his, obsidian spike and bone piece. He's like, he gave me these items, and I have to wear these at all times.
Why you?
That's a good question. Why, Wiglov? I'm just some random dwarf from the camp.
You don't see any You don't see any righteous act that you've done that could inspire this or something? You truly believe yourself to be an average person?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I worked for a while around the infirmary, helping people pass, help to at least ease their suffering, and helping with soldiers' wounds and such. Maybe that's it, but there are others that do the same work as I. It's just I don't know why it would this voice would choose me.
I'm sure you've had colleagues. Have your colleagues had this calling as well? Have you interviewed them?
No, no one seems to be having the same sort of weird things that are happening to me. The father of the temple, he was supremely surprised, and that's whenever he found out that I could do these things, he rushed off and grabbed the royal guard, and that's whenever I met the council lady, and she gave me the mission, and here I am. The rest is pretty much history.
Wiglov, give me an intelligence check.
Oh.
Okay.
I'd say I don't believe you, but I would explain the authority you were given.
Yeah, it's strange. I didn't really ask for any of this, but yeah.
You must understand, this doesn't happen ever. This is not a thing.
I guess we'll find more answers as time goes on, hopefully.
Wait. Can you cast one of your healing spells on me? Can I take like a dagger and do give myself like a small wound on my hand? On my
Of course you can.
Yeah, I give myself like a small not can I do it like so it doesn't do damage, it's like a small wound on my thumb.
Sure.
Okay, can you heal this?
And I'm a little reluctant to touch him at first, a little scared of my if whatever's going to happen. So I also don't know what I would say or do, so I just kind of put my hand on the wound, or one of my fingers like close to the wound, and just kind of touch where the dagger stabbed him.
Nothing happens.
Are you So you're not a cleric?
Wiglov then looks around. He knew that this thing happened before. He's like, And so he takes the obsidian spike and the bone, and he interconnects them, and holds one in his, or holds part of it in his hand. And then he touches the wound again.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, fuck.
Have you taken the pieces apart?
Oh, I thought I put them together. Oh, I thought I.
Yeah. How do you have them right now?
They're together. They're interconnected.
Okay. You have not taken them apart in front of the group yet.
Oh.
Question. Have you or have you not?
Oh, have I not? I thought I don't think I've taken them apart at all.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess I'm looking. I kind of look at it. I'm like, and then I just kind of take the pieces apart and hold on to both of them, and then I'll touch his hand again.
Nothing happens.
Yep.
The elf squints at this weird ass behavior.
I haven't heard of too many clerics, but I have heard of a lot of charlatans. Why would the town give you such authority? Your ruse is clearly easy to break.
I don't know. This happened yesterday. It's all new to me. I don't know how to call upon these weird magics. And so Wiglov, he thinks for a moment. And he's like, he shuts his eyes and he's really trying to concentrate on this thing that he saw yesterday with that man's wound. And he shuts his eyes and he. Are we sitting at a table?
I assume so. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get up off the table because I don't know if I can do this sitting down. And I'm going to get into a praying position, and I'm going to, kind of kneel my head as though I'm in the temple, even though I'm not in the temple, like in the honey pot. And I'm going to then touch. I'm gonna think about the voice and the bird and stuff, really concentrating, and I'm going to touch his hand again.
Are you praying?
Yes, I'm in a prayer kneeling position sort of thing.
As
Like
you
I'm trying to chant. I don't know how I'm doing this. I'm trying to concentrate on the voice and think about this voice that's been telling me things to do. And I'm going to whisper under my breath, make them believe again, and then that's whenever I'm going to touch it.
As you go into your prayer position and reach out to who or whatever this thing is that has been giving you these powers, you assume, you feel a connection, and you are confident that you can ask a favor from your deity.
Okay. Wiglov
So,
thinks about the
mechanically speaking, you have to pray to get your spells.
Oh.
And mechanically speaking, you haven't prayed this morning, so you don't have any spells right now.
Oh, of course. This is
But as you go to pray, this is all new to you. So how would you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hey, it's perfect.
You notice this connection, and you see there's some sort of non-vocal exchange of information about what's going on, and to the rest of the party, the dwarf just goes into this praying position, and then he stays in this praying position and completely ignores the rest of you.
I look around if this is one of those things where someone's trying to make a distraction, and then a kid comes and steals your wallet from your back pocket. So I'm looking around if something else is coming.
Nothing else is happening. There's just this dwarf in front of you who
look at the elf, or
the elf looks super confused. His confusion is intensifying by the minute.
So this goes on for a few minutes by now. So how do you do anything? Or?
We're not in a hurry.
No.
And because this guy has, so I have two conflicts here where this guy clearly can't do shit, but he has the crown's authority, so he must be able to do something. So I'm not necessarily giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's a cleric right now, but I want to see him try. I want to give him a chance to.
So he sits on the ground in prayer for 10 minutes, a bit more than 10 minutes, and Wiglov, then you feel you have finished praying for now.
Okay. I'm just gonna waste it again. Right,
Just as you awake, Ruin's is this how dwarves sleep? Is he sleeping right now?
No, he's not.
I've never interacted with a dwarf before.
They function as anyone else would.
So, Wiglov,
I
do
am
you
confident.
believe?
Yes, Wiglov is very much, focused on, I think he thinks that he can feel this power in him.
Yeah.
And he's going, I don't know if I can actually have to do it. So I'm going to then connect the obsidian spike to the bone again, and hold it out, and I'm going to get out of the praying position, and I'm going to touch his wounded hand again. Just boop.
And as you do so and project forth the prayer and the divine blessing that has been granted to you, once again, there appears this dark glow, like obviously glowing, but also it's not bright light. It's it's a strange effect, and the wound closes over. But Usma, this does not feel very nice. It's painful.
Okay. Like how painful on a scale of 1 to 10?
At least as painful as getting the cut.
But not that painful. My brows furrow as he's channeling his stuff, and as like the magical darkness aura thing fades away, and I see my thumb now intact, right?
Yes.
My eyebrows go up and my eyes go wide. I lean back in my chair too much, about to fall. I grab onto the elf's shoulder, but I fall anyway out of surprise. I am baffled.
Also, complete silence in the room.
Yeah, and I just fall with a loud clunk.
I will catch him.
My chair falling with me.
This guy bathes with me, so I'm catching him. Do I need to roll anything to catch him?
No.
Okay. I grab him as he's falling. What happened? Did the dwarf curse you? Are you cursed? Dwarf, did you curse him?
Yeah, Wiglov just kind of nods his head. No. I think I helped him.
I show the elf my thumb.
Even to you, elf, this is ridiculous. You have never seen anything like this in the elven lands in the time you were with humans. You never even heard stories about something like this.
I think I'm speechless.
Reuben furrows his brows. Brows?
Brow, yeah.
This is... We should go out of here. Not talk about this in here. As I'm pretty sure we just caused a pretty big commotion.
The exact opposite. Nobody is moving right now. Complete silence. The other people in the room have stopped what they were doing.
Reuben looks around to see if how many people are staring at us.
A handful. 8 people are in the room. They were having breakfast as well, and now they are just staring.
Just to clarify, they're like still, when you say frozen, they're like frozen in shock, not frozen as in time is stopped, right?
Frozen in shock.
Okay. We should go? So, the dwarf.
Yeah, Wiglov, he kind of, he's a little shocked himself, still slightly, but he is confident that he's done something. So he's going to try and do more of this later. So he's going to get up out of his praying position, and then, he's going to sigh and be like, yeah, I think we should go. And Wiglov just kind of darts, not really darts, but paddles to the door.
The group leaves the honeypot.
I help Uzma.
Help him with what?
I don't know, carry you. Like, give you a shoulder,
Sure. I guess I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Fine. Okay.
Alright. Party leaves the honeypot and heads where? Are we leaving town and going hunting hobgoblins?
We're going
Oh.
goblin hunting.
I guess
Goblin
yeah,
hunting.
we're gonna go goblin hunting.
So, out of character, should we?
Yeah,
Wait.
I was about to say, we have been going for 3.5 hours.
Oh boy.
I would suggest that we stop here and hope for next week that we have all players. And
It
go
is 6
on.
0 anyway.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
It's
just
still
makes
fun. It's still fun.
sense. We have the party established. We have some goal for now, and next week hopefully have all 4 players, and then this makes more sense to go on goblin hunting.
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah. Also,
So
for
Also,
2
we
of
should
you,
also
it's pretty
wait for
late.
it's fine. It's the weekend. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
But we should probably also, since you just did this, you can you pray again to get spell slots again for the same day?
No.
No, really.
It's the same rules as for mages. So
Wait,
after
I
a
think
restful sleep, you have time to memorize spells, and once you have started activity for the day, it's no longer possible to learn spells.
Oh.
the way, at least the way Neil does it, I'm not exactly sure about the rule is written, is that once you do some activity, after that, a 1 hour timer starts, and you can use that time to like memorize spells still. So you
Yeah,
could like
this is
wake up.
a grace period in the morning, like when
Oh.
for how long can you learn spells? Basically, this is the everlasting questions. You could technically learn spells for 8 hours, but if you wake up and have breakfast and then go to work 1 hour later, you can no longer learn spells. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So this
Sure.
is why they have this grace period in the morning, also so you can like expend spell slots in the morning and relearn them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But it makes
Well,
sense if you want to figure it out.
So does
Yeah.
that mean that we'd have to? Okay, I don't know how we'd do this in character. I guess maybe we just go without spell slots, but like mechanically, we'd probably want to wait a day so that he can have spells again.
I mean, you have to travel anyway, so
Oh, true.
yeah, we can travel to
we
somewhere half the way and then.
So we decided we wanted to go to like the southern forest here.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like as we travel, we could probably find a place to rest, and then I can just get my spells.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
hobgoblins are the like bigger version of normal goblins, right?
Yes.
Am I correct? Yeah.
Since I just traveled this road, I probably have like a pretty decent memory on where the like local towns are where we could rest if we don't want to camp.
Yeah, you can find some towns. Yeah.
Yeah, or want to restock rations or something.
Oh, I don't know if we're gonna need rations. If you give me enough time, I think we can just not do rations if we're in the forest.
Wait, really?
I'm a fucking ranger, bro.
But I wonder if that's like how much time is that?
If you look at the rules description, the survival description, let me search.
It's like 1d2 hours. No, 2 hours for 1 hour for 1d2 days of rations.
Oh,
Or is it 2 hours? But you're moving really slow.
yeah. So if we'd have to use like 2 it might come useful sometime, but
Yeah.
it might just slow us down too much.
Once you are like stationary at some place, it becomes much more profitable than when you are moving from A to B.
Yeah.
Also, I think the normal survival, for instance, you can do this as well, but I think as a ranger, the amount of movement I can take per day is increased, even when I'm. Because I remember seeing a table somewhere on the ranger making, and that said that there's some sort of change.
Yeah, we will. I will look at the rules and give you like a ruling for next week.